But, you know, I always say if you look ugly wet, you know, there's no hope for you, man.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hola, mis amigos. You're listening to Oh My God, Hi, Hijo de Dios. Hola. With me, George Lopez. Porque, ¿sabes qué? Let's do the show. Porque I got a lot of things to do. I gotta go to that dry cleaner ahí. My kid fell. Se pegó la cabeza. I gotta go get some Neosporin Paul.
You know what George is?
Oh, I'm sure he's around here somewhere.
What's his name? George?
Lopez.
George Lopez.
Oh my God!
OMG.
OMG! Hi!
Oh my God, hi.
All right, we got a special guest reading our ad today.
Can I get a round of applause, everyone? Today, I'm excited to announce Manscaped launched their Ultra Premium Collection. Believe it or not, it's for your not-so-private parts. I'm talking about a leveled-up hygiene routine with your favorite manly scent. Ooh, I love that. This is an all-in-one skin and hair kit for the everyday man. It covers you from head to toe, literally. Manscaped is trusted below the waist. Now trust them with the rest. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off, free shipping with the code OMG That's OMG High. Free shipping, Manscaped. Get it nice and scaped for your lady or your man.
Call them and say, hey man, I'm running a little bit late. That fucking whole plane don't do that shit anymore.
Whoa.
They just started like, my flight was at 7 from Vegas. Got there like 6:15.
Yeah.
Chill, got on at before 7, got here at 7:50 in the morning. Easy. You land away from the Burbank airport, get your car, whatever, and go.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
Somebody will fuck it. Somebody will go on there with a gun and fuck it all up for everybody else.
No,
Yeah.
I won't take a gun on a plane because they don't drink when you take it. You have to declare it first off. But if you do declare it, you can't drink.
Oh, that's probably
So fucking let
good
them kill me. I
policy.
don't care.
Oh, you declare you have a gun?
Yeah,
No, you
I-
can't fly with a gun.
Oh, yeah, I can.
You can, but not us.
How do you even declare it? Like,
Not
do you
yet.
declare
Maybe
it?
we'll
I have a
figure out
gun.
what it is.
Yeah.
You have to have a letter, send a letter in advance, let them know you're
Oh, really?
fine. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think D.L. Hughley got arrested for having a gun, trying to take a gun to the airport.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What kind of gun?
Like a fucking handgun, like a 38 or some shit.
One of my
We'd have to
buddies-
ask him.
Not a shotgun or assault rifle.
No. With a long coat,
One of
Not an
my
RPG.
buddies
sawed off.
who was a cop
Yeah, exactly.
got arrested at LAX. For it was in a carry-on bag, and he didn't declare it. And he eventually, the long version, they didn't file charges on him. His wife had put it in there unbeknownst to him.
That's a good word, unbeknownst. That's what
And so-
Chicano word is.
What's
That's
the
it.
penalty for that?
Fuck, I don't know. I
Cheers,
never
brother.
got caught.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Never had one.
Hey,
Excited.
you don't drink, all right, man. You're better off.
Yeah, thank you.
You're better off.
If I didn't drink, maybe I'd look like you.
Oh, that's great.
It really is. It's one of my
Let's talk
favorites.
about our guests then, before we get into them.
Yeah.
The fact that I think maybe we were white dudes in another life, or you guys might have been Chicanos in another
There
life.
you go. They're hilarious.
In studying your
sounds
podcast,
fun.
I'm like,
They're hilarious.
these dudes are great, and it's like, at what point, when someone tells you, I think you're wasting your time with all that bullshit, like nobody cares about that, and then you see the dudes that do care about it and are not feel like they're wasting your time, and then you have kindred spirits, like you could never
It's fucking hilarious.
watch
To watch
anything
them
too
work.
much or know too much about anything. So thanks for coming on.
Oh,
thanks
thank
for
you
having
for the
me.
kind words.
Yeah, it's
It's a
awesome.
pleasure,
man.
yeah.
And then, one of the things about podcasting is, from the things that I've done, the show, like this girl right now is, hey, George Lopez, never just George. It's always George Lopez.
Right, it's
Never,
full
hey,
name.
George, fucking George Lopez. And last night I was walking back from Santana in Las Vegas, and there was a dude outside the foundation room in the House of Blues, and he goes, hey, I love the podcast. First time.
Oh,
All right.
I mean, there's other people, but in person, like, I don't really try to go out.
yeah.
The dude said, hey. So if you go to the, I was with Mayan, and I said, you ever been up there? And she goes, no. I said, I spent $3,500 up there in an hour. What? 4 drinks at a tip
Where? What's the mile?
at the house, Mandalay Bay.
Oh,
okay.
gotcha.
It's up at the top, because I left the girl. We went to see Santana. There's like a suite, like a James Brown suite, where you overlook the stage, and it's just us, And I left that girl like $1,000 tip, and mine goes, "How much did you leave her?" I said, $1,000. She goes, $1,000. I said, yeah, that's
how you roll.
$1,000 your mom doesn't have.
Shit, I'd have taken out your trash.
No,
For
because,
$1,000
people are trying to work, man. They're trying to make a living, you know?
Yeah.
And if they sold me that suite, it'd be like triple that to sit in there and watch the show. So,
Well, we almost went. You know, I looked up the flights, everything, but when I looked up the Mirage, you were sold out.
motherfucker, that doesn't mean you can't get in.
You're a busy man.
Come on. You got the access.
Hey, yeah,
You got the access. Sold out doesn't mean for you.
you're a busy man. Hey, you got some Mexican that wants 2 tickets over here.
So, how did you guys meet?
Doing a 4-hose beer bong at a party. yeah. And actually,
This is the Mount Chugmore.
one of our buddies was on antibiotics, so he couldn't do his hose. And then we subbed in, and there was just kind of an instant rapport. Like, we made eye contact while we were mid-chug. There was a kind of,
Did you drag back then, or?
I did, yeah. And one thing that was huge is that JT applied the canola oil to the funnel, so the foam was, on point.
was minimal.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, what's that though? What is that?
So
It just doesn't foam up at the top if you put a little canola oil on it.
yeah.
Canola oil.
Who found that shit
Yeah,
up?
how did you?
This kid.
Jiffy Lube. The
Drunk that spilled the canola oil the first time.
We heard it from this kid Fernando who went to UCSB, and then we applied his techniques to the beer.
Okay,
bong.
so listen, all you people out there that drink, that think you know how to drink, that maybe get crazy with a beer bong once in a while, I think maybe it's in college and stuff like that.
I
So in
still
order
do it. I'm
to not get it to
34.
foam up, right, put a little canola oil on the inside.
Does it
Learned it
affect
right
the
here.
taste? Do you notice it? I mean,
No,
you're
it's
barely
super
getting it on the
subtle.
bong anyway.
Yeah.
No,
it's-
and it slides down smooth.
It goes down real smooth, and you don't get foam, so you don't lose out on any of the
This
beer
guy-
volume.
Dude, this guy, like 2 seconds flat.
Yeah,
really?
I can open my gullet pretty well. That's really nice of you, dude, to say that.
How do you open your
yeah,
gullet?
of course.
I saw a guy. There was a comedian named Ollie Joe Prater back in the late '70s. That was a comedian. You guys ever hear about him?
No, I'm not.
Big country dude, big belt buckle. Used to walk on stage with a Coors Light and open his gullet, and it'd go down like that. And he'd go, "Waitress, can I get another one of these? This one has a hole in it." That was his opening line.
Yeah,
And it just go down, right? So as he started to drink, and then the older he got,
Yeah.
they would put a chair on stage, and they would cover him with a sheet. And then the other 2 comedians would go on stage, and then he'd be sitting in the fucking chair like this, covered with a sheet. And they'd go, "You ready for your headliner?" They'd go, "Yeah." They'd fucking pull the sheet. That motherfucker be sitting in the chair. Because he was so big, he couldn't walk on stage. So they would set him on stage before the show started.
Like a
And they would
grand
seat
piano.
people, and he would, like a grand piano. And he'd be sitting there like this. And then they'd fucking take the sheet off, and he'd...
It's like Saw. He's
Right.
waiting there the
See,
whole
but those
time.
were the good old days before canola oil.
That motherfucker can
Yeah.
put it down, man. I mean, it's something to be admired, and then at some point it becomes very sad.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
until then, it's a good thing. So how do you open your do you have to be born with it?
I was going to say, I think some people are born with it, and it's just something that they instinctively know how to do, and they have the musculature in their mouth and throat area to be able to open it up like a clean pathway. But I do think there's things you can do to improve to get to that level. And I think you're using a lot of the same muscles they use in singing.
Ah.
So it's sort of like if you go to the pinnacle of singing, like, I don't know, like Andrea Bocelli doing the prayer, you come from that same operatic bass in your throat and sternum. And then that, when you sing a song like that, you'll feel the muscles in your throat kind of relax.
Wow.
And it's the same thing when you're hitting a beer bong. So I just try to sing something classical before I put my mouth on the funnel. And it just goes super easy.
Beer bong.
Yeah, the Bocelli beer bong.
I wonder if
Yeah.
Bocelli ever heard this. Maybe he could start drinking out of a beer bong.
Right. But he's deaf, right? No, he's blind.
He's
blind.
Right.
Is there a better beer to drink that's easier, or
Yeah, heavier beers are more difficult, but it's not so much in the chugging process. It's more the after effects. Like, if I'm chugging 3 beers at a time and I do like a heavy IPA, that's going to sink
Does
me.
he do that?
I can do that, but I'm so...
Fuck.
I'm so committed to the dance floor that if I do 3 IPAs like that, I know that's going to cut into my groove. So I try to stay with lighter beers.
I'm with that.
If I'm trying to boogie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys smoke weed?
For sure.
You do?
I don't. I when I was in high school.
Listen, man,
I
you got to get the fuck out of here. Though.
Dude, when I was in high school, I really wanted to be a stoner because everyone just saw me. They're like, "You're a stoner, dude," and I was like, "Yeah, that's my identity." And then I would smoke weed, and it would have the opposite effect. So I always just figured I was just naturally
He looks like he's
on that level.
He's got the thermal. He's got the other shirt on. He's got the hat
Yeah.
backwards.
I don't need weed.
I think if you look like you get high, why get high?
Yeah.
You know, if you look
do
like you
half
can
the
drink and like you've been up all night, fuck
Yeah.
it. Just look like it.
If I smoked weed, I probably would have walked in here with like a suit and tie. You know?
That's your vibe right there.
That's my vibe.
Yeah, good. That's good.
how I present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw you guys were talking about. I watch The Sopranos a lot. Like I've seen over and over and over and over.
Greatest show of all time.
It is, right? Better than Breaking Bad.
I think so.
Better than Ozark.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what do you think made it so good? I mean, the characters. So you got like Silvio Dante, that's not an actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a wig. Clearly, he's got the way he talks. And he walks. Like a kind of a penguin guy.
Right.
But it works, right?
Yeah.
Like he's not
well
a trained
casted.
actor.
Yeah, he's perfectly casted in that part. I think it's the most complete psychological portrait I've ever seen of a human being in art. Like, I think you see every dimension of Tony Soprano's personality, and it all feels cohesive.
This doesn't sound like anybody that I was listening to on YouTube or anything. You're
We're
serious
starting on this, though.
I get fired up when I
We're gonna
talk
go to
about The Sopranos.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and, they punch each other a lot, and that's cool, too.
Yeah, because I've seen it, and I was in the early 2000s when my show started. They had a podcast. I think they had not a podcast, but they had a radio show. The guys at Sopranos, and they were the kings of New York. Like they could go to any restaurant, and even though they were actors playing, gangsters, it's like why be a gangster in New York when you can be an actor playing a gangster and have everybody from every restaurant, I don't care where it is, Rayo's, wherever anybody can't get in, and these dudes could just stroll in and be kings.
How did The Sopranos match up to The Godfather?
Gentlemen?
I think it's better.
Yeah, it's because it has the humor in it.
Great question.
The Godfather was good because of the attention to detail. Of that guy out there practicing, Luke Brazzi practicing what to say, the technique of you can't deny somebody something on his daughter's wedding day. You can ask for something. The guy that was an issue, he made him a cake, took care of it. And I think that from the family and that big party, which that house is over there off of like Coldwater. You think it's
really?
You think it's back east? It's out there off Coldwater Canyon on the
At
way
the top of 2 or the
down
wedding
at the bottom.
and number 1?
Yeah, we're number 1.
Right.
It's right there. It's like people think it's back east. It's
That's what I thought.
it's in the base of Beverly Hills.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's a different vibe. I mean, psychologically, yes, but it seems like in the movies that they 3 hours to get to the end of 1, and then 2, and then they go to Calneva and then Fredo. And all of that, things that stand out as like, I'm a smart guy, all of that. But in The Sopranos, they have that within the hour, like every episode at least once or twice, sometimes even more, in the body of The Sopranos. So if anybody's not seen it, I don't think, a show has to be new in order for somebody to have binge watch it or get enough of it.
Yeah.
And if anybody's out there that has not seen it, I mean, it's in Spanish and all that stuff, but from the beginning, it's just so
good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna watch the pilot just to do like a synopsis of it for like a little video, and it was my second time watching it, and then it just hooked me. Like from the pilot, I just had to finish the whole series again.
When I was watching the promos for it, because when I was doing my show in 2002, and they start to come to you with like what the font's gonna be like, what the show's gonna look like, and there was this guy, I think it was called Ring of Fire, that did logos. So we sat in there, and the guy from Ring of Fire had these almost like flashcards, and he's like, okay, we did this, and they did The Sopranos. and it said The Sopranos, and the P was the gun, like a Glock.
Genius.
Just like fucking brilliant. And then they showed me mine, which was like a bobblehead with the red, black, and white, and all of us were like, they had me in a van, and they had like me away from just the thing, and then when they did the font, it was perfect. So in watching HBO and watching the lead up to The Sopranos, when she goes, "Are you in the mafia?" And he's like, "What?" You know, you look at it.
It's a very hurtful stereotype.
yeah. And you think, I don't know, man. I don't know if that show's gonna work, and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
All the time.
And Paulie was in the mob, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I think that's
really?
why he has the hands. You know, he holds his hands that way because it's like they're always at the ready.
Yeah.
So he can always fight. It's like a defensive thing.
Oh, wow.
From the mob.
And the writing of it is good. And then, you know, I think, you know, we did a show and they were saying that out of the darkness, you know, it might be a little too heavy, you know, the shows, but they had a way of cutting the tension with humor, you know. That when Vito was, you know, found out Vito was homosexual, and then he
That was something that really shocked me, because you never, in my wildest imagination, that's the mafia. You never think that they'd be gay.
Right.
And it showed that he was homosexual.
And then he met Frank Vincent, who played, what was his name, with the white hair? Everybody hated.
Phil Leotardo.
Yeah.
And they meet at the Bud Costello statue, and they said, you know, how about having a Fanoik in your crew? And he's like, he sucks some dick. It's a victimless crime. I mean, that shit is just, it's like, man, you know, comics would be looking for shit like that. To just, if you write one of those, and it's just all the mom, oh, poor you, like everybody's either mom or grandmother did that. You know, and I think, you know, does it get the attention? I don't think so much. Do you think people rate it as high?
I think so.
With streaming and all that stuff.
I think so. I think it's still recognized as probably one of the top shows in history. And then I think it was so pivotal for the way TV is now.
Like started that golden age. Golden television.
Yeah.
And you had like Timothy Van Patten. They had a lot of directors that you wouldn't think would be good at directing in like an hour of like gritty comedy. Van Patten and a lot of the guys. But when I think we all hosted the Emmys in 2005, and that was like in the heyday of that. So they were sitting there. I mean, you're sitting there for fucking, it seemed like 7 hours.
Yeah.
And the guys on my show handed out water and breath mints that had water that had the name of the show on it, and breath mints in between the commercial. They got mad, like, hey, I said, hey, they're doing it. We went to we gave it to Will and Grace, we gave it to Sex and the City and The Sopranos, and you gave it to Gandolfini and Edie Falco, and they were like, oh, there's our favorite guy right there. Gave him some water and some mints. You're sitting there for 7 hours.
Yeah.
And they won Emmys that night. And
You hosted it?
Yeah, we hosted it, yeah.
Was that fun?
It was pretty crazy, you know. And I had just started kind of getting into kind of TV, 2003, 4, 5. So that was the year that myself, Conan, Brad Garrett, Bernie Mac, Gary Shandling, I think Ray Romano and Brad Garrett all kind of shared hosting duties. And when it was, I gave the Emmy out for the first reality TV.
Survivor?
Survivor. I gave the Emmy out. So I had to go out there and do, you know, material about, you know, game shows. I said, you know, Big Brother, 14 people living in the house, it's been done. You know,
Yeah.
And I said, extreme makeover. You take somebody ugly in an hour, they're beautiful. I go, isn't that what a 12-pack used to do? And shit like that.
Yeah.
And before I went out there, I was fucking nervous, man. So I look around the corner. And you see everybody that's on TV. And in the middle of the front row is fucking Robin Williams. And Robin Williams looks at me and he goes like this,
Like giving you strength.
fuck
Yeah.
And I said, all right. It goes like this.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And that helped me out, man.
Do people get mad when they don't win?
Well, Eddie Murphy took off. I mean, everyone thought he was going
Really?
to win for Dreamgirls. He fucking left. He got up and listen, you get mad when you don't win, but nobody fucking gets up and leaves. Because he thought he was going to win. He went, he stayed, I think for Mr. Church, too.
Yeah.
They got nominated, and he thought, I'm going to win for Dreamgirls. They show all your, listen, man, they did it to me at the fucking 2009 Grammys. They show your face, and you fucking lose. You're just like, motherfucker. They cut away. You fucking got up.
You know the camera's on you, right?
Yeah. And he got up and fucking walked.
He's like, I'm done.
Was it hard to keep your composure when you knew the camera was on you?
Yeah, because you try. I mean, you don't want to make a face because you know it's like you kind of have to be used to it. So you see the guy there, and and then and the winner is Stephen Colbert, motherfucker.
You got to clap. You're like,
But it's interesting, man, because as we got older, people get younger, and it's like the things that we don't know about as being older kind of give somebody away, like the shows that we would watch, or the fact that the music that we would listen to. If somebody were to say to me, so what kind of music are you into? And I would say, like, I'm still into like the 70s rock and 80s, and everybody's moved on, I think, right? A lot of those dudes are not alive anymore. It's kind of hard listening to some music when the whole band is gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Where can I see them?
Which band's you talking about?
We talk about, like, when I was on the radio in 2000, the Ohio Players, and they had Fire, and they had
Earth, Wind, Fire. They still have back then.
Ohio Players had Fire, dun, dun, dun.
I like songs with hoods in them.
Yeah, and they
Love Roller Coaster.
Love
was also
Roller
on.
Coaster. Yeah. And I saw in the paper one time that the last dude passed that said all the dudes from Ohio Players are.
Last of the Temptations just passed this last year, too.
Whoa, no way, really?
Yeah. All the Temptations are gone.
Who was the
Four
last
tops.
one? Was it David Ruffin?
No, David Ruffin went a long time ago. Melvin Franks went a long time ago.
Those are some
It was
sad-ass
one of the
stories.
Williams, one of the brothers.
Yeah, those guys.
It was Williams.
Ruffin was kind of a dick, right? Like
They
he
dropped
started
him off at
taking
the hospital, man. Like, just dumped him off.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, when he passed?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, whoa.
They'd like take you to the emergency and just leave you and then drive off.
Yeah, I had a buddy take me to the emergency room and he left after like 20 minutes. And I had to act cool about it. I was like, yeah, man, all good.
How did you end up in the emergency?
I just did too many drugs one night.
No shit?
Yeah. I think it was more mental than physical. Like, I think my central nervous system was just a little taxed. And so I just went in there to make sure everything was still
I fucking love that.
functioning properly.
They put the mask. They put the mask on you. You take it off. I think my central nervous system is just a little bit taxed, sir. Don't take the mask off.
That is how I talk to the doctors too. I'm like, I want these doctors to know I'm self-aware.
If your fucking central nervous is taxed, whatever you say, because they know maybe there's nothing you're gonna say. That's, oh yeah, it's all right. Let him. He'll walk it off. I'm fucking let him off. No, he can drive. Do you ever let somebody drive that couldn't drive? I think we all.
Sure. I try to step up, but yeah, sometimes it's hard to stop
The
somebody.
worst is when they go, "We'll follow you."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how's that helping?
They're all fucked up, and they go, "Hey man, we'll follow you," and then you're behind him, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" Whoa.
I remember giving up my keys because I knew I had had too much to drink. Giving them and they said, "Here, Jack's gonna take you. He'll go get your car." And I said, "Okay." And he says, "Where's your car?" He says, "I'll find it." And he took off running. We were at Dodger Stadium. He had to run the whole stadium to find my car. And as he's running away, I'm saying, "Go get my keys back. I'm not that drunk." And I'm giving it to a fucking drunk.
Right.
And he eventually made it back, though. Good thing he was a runner.
How did you guys start doing the podcast, and how did you start gaining the kind of following that you guys have?
We started doing these city council videos where we sort of activism, where first thing was we wanted to build a Paul Walker statue to unite the nation. And then we were fighting for house parties, because they were under threat in the Hollywood Hills. And those went viral. So at that point, and then we sort of gained a little bit of a following. So then there are, these young bros following us. And it's like...
Okay, so let's talk about the Paul Walker. I had Paul Walker on my talk show. Great guy.
Yeah.
On the Fast and Furious. Mm-hmm. So somebody reminded me in the body of our interview that he lived in like Monrovia.
Yeah.
Or up there, right? So he would skateboard down Foothill, but like it was a pretty steep thing. So he'd skateboard down there, and he would go through the red lights.
Really?
And didn't know if cars were coming or not.
Whoa.
And he would just go through the red lights, and he said, it always worked out for me. Like I never got in danger. He almost got hit a few times.
Yeah.
And he would go through there. I mean, that's fucking danger.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what cars are coming.
Oh my God.
And then, with the accident, the way that happened is a guy called me and said, like, all that time he would say, it went my way. He wasn't driving, but
You only have so many of those.
I think you only have so many of those.
Right.
Yeah, he must have found some peace in that risk. Like, doing that must have kind of
I think there is
alleviated some anxiety.
There is something to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gil talked about a fucking fellow police officer shooting at him and fucking missing. Like, to get shot at by another officer who's trained with a gun, but then he fucking misses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little friendly fire.
Which is crazy. I mean, you didn't know if he was going to miss. Fucking thing comes like, and now the guy doesn't know that these guys are cops.
Right.
Thinks, why you guys are pointing guns at the guy inside? And he's like, drop the gun, and fucking shot at him.
Yeah.
Whoa. So he shot at you and you were okay.
Yeah.
What do you do after that?
Man.
Like, were you jacked up? Like, how did you?
Oh yeah, we jumped the car to get the other side, and I had another gun. My partner was really pissed. I don't ever panic. I don't get mad. I don't get pissed. My partner was livid, and I just said, "It's okay, partner. I got another gun right here." And I pulled one out my leg. I said, "If you're gonna shoot again, I'll dump him." And I was confident that I could dump him. I wasn't gonna miss. I said, if he's gonna shoot again, I'll dump him. But didn't have to, because his partner, who knew we were cops, started screaming, "You stupid motherfucker!" We were plain clothes, but we had those big raid jackets. And one say sheriff on the back, and the
Ones
gangster.
you could get now at like the flea markets.
Yeah, exactly. And the gangsters
story's
out there,
making me not wanna get
they
one.
knew we were cops. They're going, "Hoo, hoo, hoo." They thought it was cool. And this guy comes up, and now he wants to beg for forgiveness. I said, "Fuck this! Don't worry about me. You better take care of that guy you got in custody. You're trying to arrest. Otherwise, you're gonna have a problem. Those guys are gonna lynch him. You're gonna have a big fucking fight on your hand. You take care of your problem. Don't worry about us. We're alive." And so that's all it was. He ended up.
Those fucking cholos on their patio are like, "Fuck it, don't do anything, man. They'll kill each other."
And so he eventually got fired. He got fired for what he did.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, he just went through paper lock. It was his 12th day out on the street, and the guy that did his investigation said that a Mack truck, 10-ton Mack truck, gone by and sounded its horn, he never would have heard it. He just went into vapor lock. All he saw was big gun, and he was a rookie. He was new, and
Adrenaline.
he lost it. So it was best.
What's that phrase? Paper lock?
Vapor lock.
What is that?
Vapor
What is a
lock.
vapor lock? Then?
That
Is that
just
when your
was-
central nervous system goes haywire?
That just was,
It's too
I
taxed.
know
just
all
like a
about
car when you go into vapor lock, it just stops, it freezes, and that's what happens. He just froze. He
You
couldn't-
can't hear anything. You can't see anything.
He went totally out of everything. He was focused on one thing. He saw two guys with guns.
That's how I am before I hit the beer bong.
We all know how essential the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 is for the precise trim below the waist. Their advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts to your most delicate areas. But now you can enhance your perfect grooming routine with their ultra-premium collection. This package includes Manscaped Premium Deodorant. No, not for your balls, for your stanky armpits. It dries clear, is aluminum-free, and smells like their signature Manscaped scent. Has a hydrating body moisturizer. If you have tattoos or issues with dry skin, it's designed to keep skin feeling smooth, clean, and smelling fresh. Also comes with a body wash to lather you up, infused with aloe vera, sea salt shower gel, 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner to clean your scalp with an easy single step, plus a free gift, a 3-pack of lip balm that's made up with ingredients such as vitamin E, peppermint, and eucalyptus oil to keep those chappers feeling moist.
You don't want to put that near your oil, the eucalyptus.
Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code OMGHI at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code OMGHI at manscaped.com. The power of attraction is now in a bottle, thanks to Manscaped.
Is there a beer bong championship? Like on 4th of July when the guys eat all those hot dogs?
It's not so much about chugging speed, it's about length of beer bong. So people are always pushing the envelope that way and trying to create a longer and longer beer bong. And it's something that Chad and I are pretty committed to.
Wait a minute. Sorry. So normally, in my day, whatever you could hold up here was the length of the you go to
Right.
a fucking hardware store. and get some aquarium tubing or whatever the clear tube
We
was.
call those autonomous beer bongs when just one person can handle it.
Right? Yeah, and then so what's the longest?
Longest?
Man.
Around 100 feet, I think. We have our
Holy
buddy Frodo who studied physics at Cal State Fullerton. He's trying to make a 120-foot one for us. So he's doing all the equations.
But sky's the limit. Once we hit 120, we're going to want to push to 140, then to 160.
But what did you go on top of a building and stuff?
At some point, I'd like to be on a Sears Tower or Empire State Building and just see if we can work it out. It's like when I saw that doc, Man on Wire, about the dude who tight-roped across the World Trade Center. I was like, what if that was a beer bong house? That was instantly where my brain went.
And then we had this other idea about using a drone, because the sky's the limit there. You could just take, you saw that guy Felix Baumgartner who did the free fall. Yeah. Just, drone it up however long you want.
Or a hot air balloon.
Hot air balloon, yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah.
And then you have a nice day bookending the beer bong.
Yeah. But one thing you have to worry about is inertia, this thing called inertia, because when the beer bong comes from like a huge height,
oh my God,
it's going to just
you look like
annihilate your
terminal velocity.
Terminal velocity.
Downwards.
Yeah.
It can flatten you.
Yeah.
Like when people say you drop a penny off the Empire State Building, it like kills someone. Yeah. It's like that, but with like a Coors.
Yeah, imagine Coors coming in. Yeah.
How fat? I mean, would you do that? I don't know.
Hell no.
You could totally do it.
Yeah,
no, I'd love to do it with you. I think you'd fucking rip it, dude. Excuse my language. Are we allowed to cuss? Okay, chill. Super chill. Yeah, no, I think you would crush that, dude.
Are people still beer bonging?
For sure. We're trying to keep it alive. I mean, everything's, it's kind of like fashion. It's in, it's out. But we try to always keep it on the runway of our lives.
Yeah.
How did the Paul Walker statue end up?
It's still we're still in the process.
Where on the site or where in Brazil?
We want to do it on the San Clemente Pier, and so we talked to the city of San Clemente, and they're like, it's not in our budge. So we're trying to work that. We try to GoFundMe, and then we're just gonna keep trying to raise money to get it done.
How much you guys need?
Probably about 100,000, because we want it to be like legit, like bronze statue.
And you have an idea of what it looks like? We can put it up on the.
Yeah, we do have some images. I don't know if we could like easily pull them up, but
we'll get you.
I'll drop them in if we can find them for sure.
Yeah, we can send them to you post, and then. But yeah, we know what we want. We just wanted to embody his chillness. Like he was such a chill, laid back guy, and I think he was able to make other people feel that way. And we want the statue to do that for everyone who, comes to San Clemente and immigrates there and stuff. We want that to be the first thing they see.
Who's the politician you're trying to nail when you were on one of your YouTube things and you're trying to get him to commit to the statue?
Oh, who were we talking? We talked
a couple different
Politicon?
That might have been Roger Steele, the former head of the RNC.
Yeah.
And he seemed like...
He seemed like he was going to go for it.
Yeah. I think, we got some heavy hitters who are on the fence. It's just a momentum thing. Once one of them falls, the rest of them will follow suit.
Yeah, but we have tons of ground support.
Yeah, of course.
Nationwide,
I think it's a good thing. I mean, listen, man, they're taking down General Lee and all those statues. Let's put some statue up that will survive the test of time.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody loved Paul Walker.
He's
exactly.
He sat across from me, and when he walked out, it was like the #1 movie that weekend. Fucking huge. And he sat down, and people went crazy in the commercial. I said, so what do you guys do, man? You just make a movie that white, black, Latino, Asian men, girls, attractive people, and everybody wants to go see. Goes, yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's everybody in there.
Yeah.
I think that was the Drift movie where they were drifting.
Tokyo Drift? Yeah. Or Paul wasn't in Tokyo Drift.
No. It was a Fast and Furious, but something.
Oh, it might have been number 5.
5.
Yeah, because when they have the safe behind the 2 Chargers, there's a lot of drifting.
Yeah.
One of the better car chase scenes in history, for sure.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5 really sort of changed the trajectory of that.
It did,
franchise.
right?
Yeah.
Turns into a heist thing.
Yeah.
Have you been in a high-speed chase?
Yeah.
Is that exciting?
Yeah, very much so.
Hell yeah.
It is. If you watch the movie End of Watch, they open up the movie with a good chase scene.
Yeah, it's good.
And that's exactly the way it is in the car, because you're talking with your partner and you're sitting there saying, get that motherfucker. Oh, clear right. Clear left. Yeah, get that. No, fuck him. You're yelling at each other, and it's exciting.
You're fired up.
Yeah.
Do you wear your seatbelt?
Not during pursuit. That's the only time because that thing hinders you.
You got to be able to get out of the car.
And you got to be able to get out of the car in a hurry. So
Interesting.
The only time I ever wore my seatbelt when I was in patrol was during rain.
What if you're taking fire and the fucking windshield's bap, 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 and you're fucking going, I can't. I'm stuck in here.
The law and the policy says buckle up, but
Fuck that.
no, this is my life. I want to be able to get out. I want to be able to do this. And certainly if you were in a bad wreck, you may be ejected. We didn't, back then, nobody gave a shit about ejected. There was no click it or ticket or anything like that.
Right.
So it was just no seatbelts during pursuits, seatbelts on the right in my life.
What car was that, though? Those were the cars that, I saw a higher patrol that was what the fuck did they use that was so fast? Like a fucking, that thing looked like, was it a Charger? They used Chargers?
They used to use Chargers. One of the fastest cars we used, it just had a light-ass end. It was fun to drive, was the Nova, the Chevy Nova. It was small, it'd get up and go real quick, and quick takeoff, quick acceleration, good handling. It was just light in the ass end, to turn around.
Love it. Yeah, I drive my Prius is out front. Sick.
But those, the Teslas and all those cars now that go 0 to 60 in no time.
It's too fast. It's like 2 seconds.
You been in one of those that goes that fast?
No.
It fucking takes off, man.
Yeah. And now I'm just the opposite. I drive slow now.
And there's no pull to it.
Yeah.
You hit it and you just go. There's none of that
There's not like that moment where the car's like charging up for it. It's just.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.3 seconds. They got it down to 0 to 60.
Does your head go back at that?
Wow.
At that acceleration?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they should add car sounds to Teslas.
You know what? I almost got fucking hit by one that was just silent.
Yeah. Yeah, you need it, and also just for like the thrill. When you're gonna go that fast, you need to. I like to hear it.
You can do
set
your
off
own
some
sounds.
car alarms.
Yeah, you want the corresponding senses to be hit up.
Yeah.
Let me put baseball cards on the spokes, but good ones.
When my daughter was only 2.5, she broke her elbow. She was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and she shared a room with a little African-American little girl. And went down to talk to her one day, and her older sister was there, and she said, "So your daughter says you're the policeman?" I said, "Yeah, I'm the policeman." She says, "Oh." She says, "Where do you work?" I said, "Sheriff's Department." She says, "Oh." I said, "Where do you live?" She said, "East Compton." And I said, "Well, the Sheriff's Department, they handle it." She said, No, it's not Sheriff's Department." I said, "Okay, well, what color are the uniforms? Are they black?" And she says, "No, they ain't black." And I said, "Okay, are they blue?" She says, "Well, no, they ain't blue." I said, "Well, the only other uniform color around there would be tan and green." She says, "Yeah, that's them." I said, "Well, that's Sheriff's Department. That's my department. That's who I work for. They work out of Firestone Station covering East Compton." She said, "That's it, Firestone. Everybody knows them as Firestone." And I said, "Really?" She says, "Yeah, we just like sit down in the corner and listen to Sheriff hum." And I said, "What do you mean you listen to the Sheriff hum?" Well, back then they were using either the Chargers or the Furies, so you'd hit that corner and woo woo, hear them hum. You could hear the carburetors kicking. She said, "Yeah, we just like sitting on the corner listening to Sheriff hum."
The Fury. Nobody talks about the Fury.
Yeah. I never even heard of that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they made a lot of noise. Didn't go that fast. They made a lot of noise.
Was that a Dodge?
Yeah.
You're saying Plymouth? Yeah. Plymouth Fury.
What are you guys on training day? You guys,
the film?
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome, huh?
I watched it again like 2 months ago.
David Ayer.
Yeah.
I guess the dude who originally was going to make it got kicked off the project because Denzel wanted to work with Antoine Fuqua. And then that guy went on to make the documentary An Inconvenient Truth with Al Gore.
Who is that? What's his name?
David Guggenheim, I think. And then you can, there's not a lot of similarities between the two projects.
What the fuck was he
Davis Guggenheim.
Davis Guggenheim.
Who's Davis Guggenheim married to? He's married to somebody famous.
Elizabeth Shue.
Thank you very much.
Whoa, Elizabeth Shue's
Aaron's got the facts.
one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, great.
She's incredible.
Where do you like her in what?
Leaving Las Vegas. No, I'm kidding.
She was good at that.
She was good in that, but it's a very tragic part.
Very tragic, yeah.
I would say
The Boys.
I like her in
She's in Karate Kid.
Karate
That little
Kid
baby
would probably
fat.
be it. I would probably go Karate Kid. I know that's the obvious pick, but I love that
She was
movie.
hot, man.
Yeah,
Right?
she was cool.
Doesn't that remind you of when you like somebody in junior high or high school and it's so so young and there was this girl that when we graduated from high school in '79, we all went to go see Santana at the Universal Amphitheater. And it was open air back then. And then there was this girl, Susie, that I liked. And you're out of school and, we were hanging out, went to the concert together. She goes, are you going to this party? Like, we're going to this party afterwards. And then this guy showed up that she was kind of dating. And then he like she left with him. And I never fucking saw her again.
Oh,
and
no.
it was wild, man, because we were, I think at the concert, I bought some Cracker Jacks. I had the box and I had the thing in it. So we were like messing with the toy, and the dude rolls up and like takes her, and fucking never saw her.
Yeah,
That's brutal.
I have
a lot of moments like that.
Yeah.
I was driving down the Brea one time and I saw this beautiful girl walking her mom across the street, and I was like, yo, that's like my wife. And then I was like, maybe I should pull over and say something. I never did. I think about it all the time.
But would you? I mean, can you pull over and say something to?
I don't think you're allowed to anymore. That's the thing.
Fucking people freak out. Huh?
Yeah, but I think I would have done well in a society where that was okay. And I don't think I would have pushed it too hard. I think I could have been,
you guys aren't married
power.
though.
No.
Would you want to get married?
I definitely want to get married, have some kids. Yeah, but I don't know. I want it to happen when it's supposed to.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's the only way to get married. I was married for 17 years, and my daughter's 25. We have a thing, but I'm 60, and I don't think that I would even be in a relationship. I don't know how long I'm going to live, but it is going to be where nobody says to me, "You're golfing? Didn't you golf yesterday? You golf? You're going to golf 3 days in a row? What time did you get back? What time did you leave? Well, at 8. And what time did you get home? Like 7:30. You were golfing all day? Yeah. That's the shit that's
I have that with surfing. That's what I say on first day. I'm like, surfing's number one,
man.
top priority. So, when the waves are pumping, I'm out there.
But surfing is something that, how did you start? You grew up around the beach and all that?
Yeah. And I started when I was like 13.
It's not easy.
No, you got to stay consistent with it because that muscle memory kind of fades after a little bit. So it's not like you can. It's not like riding a bike. You just always have to maintain that.
So what length of board do people use when you're probably more advanced, right? So the longer the board, the faster.
Yeah. So you use longer boards, bigger boards for bigger waves. If you're on the more advanced level, you also use long boards for like beginners and longboarding. But I ride like a 5'10" Channel Islands board, which is standard shortboard size, and that's probably for like 4 to 8, 10 feet.
And you wax it. People wax them.
You wax it.
Makes it go faster, right?
Yeah.
And have you traveled the world surfing?
I've gone to Hawaii, Mexico, Costa Rica, Australia, and Bali. Yeah. So.
And what's that like? Can you imagine going on a plane to Bali and you got your board with you, but most people go to sightsee. You're going to fucking surf.
Yeah, Bali's sick. And the whole, it's like it's an amazing place, and the waves are it's reef breaks. So there's like what's the one? Uluwatu. Yeah, it's like shallow, and Karamas is like a fun beach break there.
Yeah.
But it's like it can get big and dangerous, but it's really fun.
And does somebody say or see you out there and say like almost like if you were at a skate park where they go, hey man, that dude's fucking skating down the wrong way, or
right? Yeah.
Is it with surfing? Is there somebody that maybe you wipe out, or you get in the way of somebody and they're like, yo man, you're fucking not.
In Santa Cruz, that's probably where I see it the most, because like it's cold water and they're hardcore there, and there's one guy at Steamer Lane out there. He's on a rental board, and everyone knew. And this one local was just like, dude, you got to get the fuck out. Like, he's like, what'd I do? He's like, what'd you do? You're on a rental board. You're wearing gloves and no booties. You're disrespecting the spot. So,
that dude Kelly Slater. So Kelly Slater played in the AT&T in the golf tournament.
Yeah.
So we would play on a Wednesday, like the celebrities play, and then at that 18th hole, everybody goes and eats. That motherfucker went out to Stillwater Cove and he was surfing in Stillwater Cove.
Oh wow.
Which was crazy, man. It's like you're out there.
Yeah.
An hour earlier, he was your fucking teammate. And an hour later, he's out there fucking surfing. The sun's going down. Fucking amazing.
He's a machine.
I've
amazing.
surfed one time in my life. Went to Hawaii with a buddy of mine who's getting married. That's where he's honeymooning at, and he's an old surfer. and he wanted me to rent a board. Let's rent boards and go on out there and go surfing. This body doesn't go fucking surfing. You know, what do you do? He talked me into the board, and I thought I was going to drown because I'd get up on that board. I couldn't get far past my knees. And then all of a sudden I'd lose my balance, and now I'm going under. So I'd hold on to the board because I know that floats. And now I'm underwater, and I'm laughing underwater because I know this
Gil
is
laughs
stupid.
at fucking everything, man.
I'm laughing underwater, and I'd get back up, and now he's laughing because he's laughing at me because I'm making an ass out of myself. Was out there for an hour. Finally said, fuck this, let's go back in. So I go back inside, and big Hawaiian, look Samoan. He said, and he said, hey, how come they give you that little board? That board too little. You need big board. You big boy. I said, well, now you fucking tell me. Never been, that was the only time, and it was fun, I guess. I laughed, but I was scared. I was under the water.
Listen, man, all that shit that motherfuckers make look graceful is the hardest shit to do.
Yeah.
Like that, like you gotta get up, and then your feet are like they're stuck to the board. Like dudes they go in the tunnel or the tube, and they're touching the water to know where they are. I mean, that shit is amazing, man.
Yeah, when you see a really good surfer in person or getting barreled, it's pretty mesmerizing. It's like art. Like
but you get a lot of chicks, like, you know, they come up, like, everybody looks better wet. Like, you ever seen Michael Phelps dry?
You ever seen me in Speedos? You ever seen me in Speedos?
I have not yet. But, you know, I always say, if you look ugly wet, you know, there's no hope for you, man.
Yeah.
You know, by 2000, I had an HBO special that said, you seen him Michael Phelps dry? Go like, everybody looks better wet. They come out with the board, and you're wet. Like, chicks are right there, like, oh my God. I mean, is there a better calling card for chicks than for them to see you out there death-defying shit, and then you roll up wet?
That's so true. I think now when I go to like bars or something, I'm just gonna dunk my head before I get in there. I'm just gonna have my buddy pour a 1 liter of Dasani over my head.
How great would it be if you went to a bar and they had a hose out there? You could just fucking wet yourself before you went in.
Swirlies are about to make a comeback.
Yeah,
good call.
Yeah,
that'd be sick if they came back.
Yeah, and you still do it, huh? You guys golf or anything? You guys golf?
We golf?
We golf a little, yeah. We're actually about to do a city council speech about golfing. Yeah. So we always fight for causes, and they moved the tee box at the San Clemente Municipal Course, and they took away the ocean view on it, and it's just totally depleting Stoke for all the local players. So we're gonna go in there and request that they move the tee box back to its
Why did they move it?
I guess it was like hitting some dude's crib, but he wasn't even getting that much ball traffic, and I guess the new tee box he's even more vulnerable now to errant shots. So.
Okay, you know what? I golf. I want to help you guys do that.
Really?
Oh yeah,
dude, you would be a huge ally if we could get you on
Let's
board.
Do it.
Let's fucking
go,
go, dude.
All the time.
You understand that? Because we think it's so important for like the cultural Stoke to have a hole where you can just see the ocean and just feel totally in nature while you're, schwacking.
Okay, so I fucking absolutely said it. So over there in Pacific Grove by Monterey, like, you can pay $900 or fucking $1,000, $1,000, whatever it is, to play Pebble Beach, or you can go to Pacific Grove and play right on the ocean, same ocean, and it's a public course and you don't pay as much. And there's houses there, and all you need is somebody to bitch about fucking ball going to your yard. But they've always gone to the yard since they built those houses. And all of a sudden,
that when you buy that crib, that you're in you're in the splash zone.
Completely.
Yeah.
You're in the splash.
So you should come to
I'll
City
do it,
Council
man. Let me know what it is, man.
San Clemente tomorrow.
Tomorrow
What
at San
time?
Clemente, 6 o'clock. George, I'm counting on you. Like, now I'm expecting
Is it
you
in
to
the
be
morning
there.
or in the
in the
evening?
afternoon. It's public comment. We all get 3 minutes. But if we could have someone of your station and influence backing our cause, we could literally change this golf course, change the city Stoke, and from there, sky's the limit.
I think change the world. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say, but I was too nervous and modest. I want to change the world.
We are the world.
You know what? I'm going to go.
We are
You gonna do it?
people.
George, that would really put us over the top.
I'm going to go. I'm going to.
And up until this moment, in my head, I was calling you Mr. Lopez, but now that we're bonding over this,
George to you,
I
man.
switched to George.
G-Lo.
At the
G-Lo.
G-Lo's
I'm gonna go with
Listen,
G-Lo.
I'm going to fucking go in the morning. I'm going to get a hotel because I got some appointments in the afternoon. And at 6 o'clock, I'm going to fucking be with you guys.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. Let's do this. This is
go.
how change happens. Like-minded people.
You'll be with your fucking
with
wife
lots of
eating
empathy.
fucking nachos on your fucking balcony.
Hey, you want me to go?
Let's go.
I'll go with you. Huh? I'll go with you.
I know you told us before this you don't like to golf, so I appreciate you being an ally, even though it's not something.
And
that
hey, man, one more thing. You get to call him G-Lo, you get to call him George. He still makes me call him Mr. Lopez.
I told you, until we complete our stress test. I'm down with that.
But yeah, because we just think like golfing is really important for the mind, right? Like,
no question.
Is there a better escape for you and your bros to kind of decompress?
That's why I started playing. We started playing on Christmas Day,
VFW,
1980 at DFW. Going there and everybody's pissing all over each other. All the veterans go. Drinks are like $1.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the best.
When you're a veteran, they'll give you. Also at my country club at Lakeside, you never see them pour the drinks. Those motherfuckers will put this much vodka. Can I have a vodka cranberry? This much vodka and that much cranberry. I mean, you're just like, what the fuck? What do you mean? You wanted a vodka cranberry, right? Is that how they doing?
Yeah.
They pour them, man.
They do good.
They pour them. Do you think tomorrow, if it went well, that we could get it over the top?
I think so. I mean,
think so.
Because they, according to our sources, they didn't really have it wasn't really fair. Like, it wasn't really debated.
So somebody just decided.
They just decided, yeah.
Some people, and I don't want to speak without real evidence, but I have it from. Let's go. I have it from some sources that the dude who owns the house has friends in the city.
There you go.
Who could help facilitate the change.
But that doesn't mean it's right.
But yeah, that's not the democratic process. And I'm all for you having homies, but they have to have boundaries when it comes to their influence. So.
But also, I mean, look at the pros play on courses that have houses on them, and occasionally you're going to get some. But that doesn't mean you either move the tee boxes or the ocean view. It's all part of it. Like golf was made like so. If you were affluent, you could play, but if you didn't, you could play those courses right there, and you could just, to grow the game with kids, fathers and sons like that. And if some dude's like living there, the balls are coming in his house, he's like, hey, man, I'm gonna fucking call my buddy and tell him to move these tee boxes either up, where you'll miss it. Like if it's up here, you got the view, and they move it down, then you're losing the view of the ocean.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, that's the best part, the view.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go you go to Hawaii, and you go strolling arm in arm with your lady, and look at the ocean for just a little bit of the ocean, or you can play 18 holes and see the ocean on like 12 of the 18 holes.
Yeah. Where have you played in Hawaii?
Well, I played. Let's see.
There's some IPAs in that one too.
I played in. Let's see, I played in Maui, you played in Kapalua, I played in the...
Plantation?
I played in Plantation.
Yeah, I played that.
I played in the, it was a Mercedes back then.
Yeah.
All the Mercedes dealers played. And then if you went on the PGA Tour, the first tournament used to be in Kapalua, you play right there. And you play with all Mercedes dealers. So Sam Jackson and Cheech and myself and Dennis Hopper, who played.
Whoa, good career.
He was a little bit sick at that time.
Oh, nice.
And Cheech is like, hey man, we're gonna go over here, man. I said, Dennis Hopper. I was like, fuck. So I'm with my team, and look at those fucking guys over there. And I went and sat with them, and the dude got me thrown out of the hotel.
What'd you get thrown out for?
Yeah. For fucking not sitting with my team at the dinner.
Really? Because you sat with Samuel L. and those dudes?
And Luke Wilson got thrown out another year. When he got back to the hotel, his shit was packed. It was at the front. He goes, I couldn't even go back to my room. Like, when I got there, and I had all my stuff in front. I'm like, well, what about all my toothbrush and stuff? Because they had it all packed up real nice, and they had a car getting ready to take me out. Fucking hilarious. I go, what did you do? He goes, just fucking drinking and just fucking around. Like, they fucking threw him off the property.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
It's hard to get thrown off the fucking property of a fucking hotel.
Yeah, that's tough. Dude, Do celebrities take the competition pretty seriously? Because I remember I saw like Ray Romano and Kevin James.
Oh, that
they did like a little documentary about them playing in the celebrity like pro-am or something. And there was moments where they got like super tense with one another, where Ray was like, "Hey, don't talk to the pros like that. Don't say good shot to them when it's a mediocre shot." And then Kevin James was like, "Dude, just get out of my face. I understand. Like, I don't need you."
What about when he goes, "I've lived." Like he goes, "I've lived 45 years without your attention." He goes, "Oh, okay, it's gonna be like that." That was a pretty good documentary.
It was real.
So HBO did a documentary called "Making the Cut." I'm in the beginning of it. They did that 3M challenge, and Ray Romano was trying to make the cut.
He took it so seriously.
So Ray Romano was a member at Lakeside, So every year, the first tee they call your name, and Ray gets so fucking neurotic, man. So I would start hitting balls like the day after Thanksgiving, like we're all trying to be, we're getting ready for the AT&T. So Thanksgiving, the day after was Friday. I go out there, Ray's out there, and then Ray goes, "Are you worried about the first tee shot of the tournament?" I said, "Ray, it's fucking in February, bro." "Yeah." He goes, "But I'm out of here, you know how he talks, like going over it in my head." So I played in front of him, and we played at Spyglass.
Yeah.
So we're about to hit our second shot, and you hear all this fucking noise and stuff, and we're like, "What the fuck?" And he was on the first tee, going this way. He hit it fucking sideways. It went over the people's heads, almost fucking killed them, into the driving range, and everybody started laughing. And that was the sound that we heard. Like somebody had a good shot. He's hitting it this way. He fucking hit it off the end of the club over the people's heads and onto the driving range.
Amazing.
And that's the shit that he was worried about. The day after Thanksgiving, he goes, "Yeah, I'm so nervous on that first tee. Fucking almost whiffed."
Yeah. Well, do you think that's like, I feel like if you're playing too much, you're like thinking about it too much. Like if I take like a break, a month or two, then I play beautifully my first round. And then I kind of get in my head a little bit.
What is it about a fucking sport that the less you play, the better you get?
It's crazy. It's super crazy.
Yeah.
Fuck, he goes, "Hey, I haven't played in 3 months." You go out there and shoot fucking 81.
Yeah.
He goes, "What'd you shoot?" "Fucking, I shot 39, 42,
Yeah.
Like you haven't played.
How do you shoot after some gummies?
No. Well, I mean, okay, guys. How about this tournament? I might splinter off. So, about maybe 10 years ago, I used to take the guys after Christmas to Pebble Beach. Don Cheadle, myself, Anthony Anderson, and another one of my friends. So Cheadle had some edibles. I think he had like a Tootsie Roll. So on the fourth hole, he ate like half of a Tootsie Roll, but it's quad strength. So by the seventh hole, he wasn't getting it in the air. The eighth hole. And then the ninth hole, and we're like, "What's wrong with Don?" And he's like, "Oh, he ate that fucking weed." So on the ninth tee box, you could go at Pebble, you can go to the snack bar. So we went and got vodka cranberries, like legitimate ones. And then he took out the weed. I said, "Why don't we all eat it? And then we'll count every shot on the way in." So you play 9 holes sober. And then at the 9th tee box, you eat the weed, you bring up 2 vodka crayons on the way in, and then you count, you're sober for 9, and then the back 9, you're fucking high.
Right.
So we're adding them up, and all of a sudden we're sitting in the tap room, and we're like, we need to do this every year. Like we need to come up with a name for this little tournament. And there's a guy named Kip that there's like a souvenir place over there. That dude would sell his mom if she put a fucking hat like that on and hold a pin. That dude would sell fucking anything. These glasses belong to Ben Hogan's caddy, $1,700. These fucking Bobby Jones threw this into the crowd, $12,000. So I went in there and I found this trophy, a $3,500 trophy from like the 30s. So those guys said, "Let's call it the Brownie Cup." So we played the Brownie Cup for like the last maybe 7 of the last 10 years. So we've played it with Cheech, me, Cheech, Anthony Anderson, and Don Cheadle. And everybody thought Cheech was going to win. You know, but it's like fucking Cheech is...
Because he's got the tolerance.
But you have to eat it. So Tommy Chong says, oh no, man, Cheech can't eat. He doesn't do good with edibles. He smokes. Do you guys give him edibles? He goes, yeah. He goes, how did he play? Fucking horrible. He fucking hit. So we have to count every shot, right? So we play 9 holes. Yeah. We have some drinks. We had the weed. On the 11th hole, he fucking hit 8 balls fucking sideways. 8. And he's like, give me another ball. And we're fucking, you can't even count that high. And like, Cheech, you're out. And you think he's out, and then we hit fucking 4 fucking to the left. And fucking Don Cheadle wins with a fucking 11 on the 18th hole. He wins by 2. He hit fucking 11. Fucking balls flying everywhere in the water. And we're adding them up. And fucking, man, he wins with an 11. Like, it was like 132 to 129.
Whoa.
And every year, you give the trophy
scores.
to, oh man, they were crazy high. And every year we try to do it. And it's like that. So I think Anthony talked about it on Jimmy Kimmel. And then somebody said, you guys ought to do like a pay-per-view Brownie Cup.
Oh, yes.
But no.
Did you start burning early or late? Like, when did you get into it?
So in life?
Yeah.
I smoked weed a little bit in junior high. Mm-hmm. But that was bad weed. We didn't get good weed till Thai stick was the sticky until that stuff like in high school, in the late 70s. Not like now. I mean, we would have never thought that it would have been legalized, right?
Right.
I
never would.
When he was on patrol, if you had a joint, it was a felony to have a fucking joint on you.
Mm. Just imagine in the 70s.
You get pulled over.
You got a single joint. That was a felony.
Wow.
Could you see which drugs were like worse for people just from who you had to deal with while on patrol? Like, could you tell that weed wasn't that bad and that other drugs were like gnarlier?
No, we didn't. You know, the realities are you're young. You know the law. They tell you this, and then it just up to individuals. I had compassion. Somebody had a single joint on them. I'm not gonna take them to jail because that it's like catching little fish, just throwing them back in the water.
Right.
You know, you get them with
some kilos, then you want to mount them on your wall.
Now you're going to jail. But back then in the 70s, there was barbiturates. You know, there were reds. They called them reds and bennies, and it was the beginning of PCP. Cyclidine came out, and heroin. Heroin, automatic. You know, you were gone because you were using heroin. You were no good.
Right.
And because
what about Black Beauties?
Didn't know anything about black.
You guys know about the Black Beauty?
No.
They called them black mollies, but we never saw them. In East LA, you saw weed, heroin, reds, and bennies. And then PCP came in, and PCP took over everything. Once PCP took over, and in the very end, before I left patrol, I saw cocaine once. That was it. Cocaine was.
Oh, wow.
And that was from an informant whose husband had just been picked up. She called me and said, hey, he left this white powder here, you know. So I said, put it out by the bush. I'll be by right now. Went and picked it up, just wrote up and found narcotics. And
you know, if they could make a recreational coke, wouldn't that be fucking great, man? Like, you don't hit anybody, or maybe you get a little thinner,
right?
But you don't lose your house, or you don't lash out at your family. Yeah. You know,
start a business.
Man, you look great. What's going on?
There is a
cocaine and meth really mess with people's minds. You know, in our context, PCP for a while. Once they got rid of PCP, because you'd go nuts, and they were impervious to pain with PCP.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Well,
but
you know,
cocaine and meth, you get paranoid, you get all kinds of shit.
I had to be really careful because I was losing weight, and they thought I was the goalie from the Mighty Ducks.
Goldberg?
That dude.
Yeah, Goldberg.
Have you seen that dude? Mm-hmm. He was on the streets. I think was that guy's name? The goalie for the Mighty Ducks?
That's his name in the movie.
Goldberg, yeah.
Yeah.
He lost a bunch of weight?
Oh, man. He was living on the street. Like,
no way.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Sean Weiss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tragic.
Check
He's
it out.
great. He's in heavyweights, too. I love that dude.
Oh, let me pull up a bigger picture.
Dude, oh, man, you got to see this shit. It's crazy.
There's a new cocaine in Colombia, too, that they're doing now. I'm Colombian, and they're doing something called, like, Dulce or something. Whoa, no way.
Wow.
I mean, come on, man.
Oh, man.
Aaron, I don't know if you can get this on the street.
Which one is the one that... Oh, yeah.
That's a bummer.
That was how they found him. Here.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
Look
he
at
looks like a sculptor in that right one. Yeah, like a avant-garde artist.
Yeah, does it?
I don't know.
What's the new one in Colombia?
I just heard there's a new pink kind of cocaine in Colombia that everybody's doing, called like, I don't know the name. It's like Tousse or Douce or something like that.
Dulce is sugar candy.
Right. You can probably, I'm sure it pops up on Google, but yeah, it's like kind of the new craze over there. But it hasn't, I don't think it's made its way stateside yet.
You know, I'm supposed to go with Kiss to Colombia in April. I'll let you guys come back and I'll let you guys know.
So yeah, pink cocaine is a synthetic hallucinogen known as 2CB and has no relation to cocaine hydrochloride. It's pink cocaine and other synthetic drugs have recently reemerged as popular party drugs in South America.
Yeah, and it's like all the rage. Everybody's doing it.
Wow.
I didn't think there would be new drugs. I thought we were done with drugs.
I mean,
yeah, but new ones pop up all the time.
Pink
It's crazy.
cocaine?
Sounds nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks, there's an
Easy
image
to
of it.
market.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Looks like Peeps.
Ta-da.
Oh man, that's ice.
Wow.
Looks like cotton candy.
Yeah, it looks tasty.
Yeah.
Don't do it, kids.
Kids don't. Yeah.
Cheers.
What music are you guys into now? Like, are you into any old school, like any of those
I love
any live shows?
I love early 2000s hip hop, 90s hip hop, 90s rock. And I'm into like funky like house as of late.
Yeah.
Like that's more sort of modern stuff.
But is that like the DJs in Vegas and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm into this guy Purple Disco Machine, who's like he's not like one of the big mainstream guys,
You know who
but
that
he's
is?
like
Never heard of it.
just check him out. He's fun.
No shit.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
And what does he do, Grant? Purple
I'm
Disco
kinda-
Machine?
Purple Disco Machine. Yeah,
Okay, well,
I think he's
that's a great
European. But I haven't shown everyone.
Yeah.
It makes you want to dance.
He
No
rips.
shit.
Yeah. He's German.
Where does he play? Where would somebody see him?
I was looking it up. He's mostly playing in Europe.
Those fucking dudes make how much do we make? Like $1 million a night?
Oh, yeah, the Vegas guys. And
Yeah.
then those I think.
I think it's the best job in the world. I've seen DJs like up close doing their job, and I'm just like, and I you know, it's like probably a little tougher than it seems, but you look at him, you're like, that's the best gig you could ever have.
Yeah.
You just get the whole dance floor pumped up, and everyone's just staring at you.
You know, those motherfuckers like.
for you to set the
I was with the
vibe.
chain smokers one time. This guy in San Antonio is like this big defense lawyer.
Yeah.
And he just hires everybody. You know, anybody falls, he's right there. You know, this guy. I forget his name, man. He's married to a Latina. He had this thing. He had me, Enrique Iglesias, Little John, the chain smokers at a fucking party for his employees.
Whoa.
So Little John's up there. What? Okay. And they fucking tap him and one more song. And I fucking cut Enrique Iglesias down and cut Little John down. The chain smokers go out there just like fucking 250,000, 250,000, 100,000, 150,000. Just fucking
Damn.
paying all that money, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the employee party. And you know, they make it look like that. The dude's got like a little
Dude, yeah.
He's got a little.
there's a little flash drive.
I thought you were talking about his dick.
A fucking little. You guys ready? Yeah. This is like a dummy fucking screen. He puts that shit in there. All
play.
that is just for show.
Right.
It's spinning, you know, just make it look like it's turning. The guy's like, put it in there, and that's it. Predetermined, and going.
Yeah. And if you're the chain smokers, they're making $46 million a year in their Vegas residency. So basically, every show they're making almost $1 million. If they do one a week, almost $1 million a show.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, we're friends with the DJ, and his life but it's crazy hours.
Yeah.
Like,
They go on at like 1
midnight to 8
a.m.
Yeah,
a.m. every
yeah.
night, and then
Yeah.
you fly to the next city. It seems a little
And
taxing.
they do that. Yeah. Steve Aoki and those guys. But I think Steve Aoki, maybe not as much, right? The Chainsmokers. I think the Chainsmokers did the halftime of the Niners and the Rams game.
We were there. I was at that game.
Yeah, you guys were there.
I think that was the best regular season game in history. Yeah, it was insane. You were there too, right?
Yeah. The Chiefs and Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Chiefs and the Rams.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what game are you saying?
They were there yesterday.
Yesterday.
Oh, they were there
Niners and the
yesterday?
Rams. They
Oh,
did halftime.
man, I'm an idiot. I was they were also there a couple years ago
So
for the.
they had to make it look like they were busier than they were. So they had like a fucking ramp out there in the middle of the thing, and one guy was over here and one guy was over here, just walking in the middle of it. Because if not, they're just standing in the middle of it. They could fucking do it on that.
You gotta get your fist pumping.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get the rage.
I mean, you know, the big thing is to see what the Super Bowl halftime show turns out to be.
Yeah, Dre,
yeah.
Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar.
and
Eminem.
Mary J. Blige, Eminem.
Eminem, yeah.
It's gonna be sick.
That's gonna be great. Who you got winning it?
You know, who do you got, Gil?
I got the Rams. And I'm not a pro, I'll say right now, I'm not a pro football fan at all. I just went with the Rams because Kaepernick was the guy from San Francisco that started all the kneeling down, and I'm not there. So I wanted the Rams to win. So that's the first game, probably in 4 or 5 years since Kaepernick went down, that I've watched from beginning to end.
So Colin Kaepernick took a knee, and you disagree with that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
But so you stopped watching football because of it?
Altogether. And I pulled my thing from the NFL. He went against. He said he took a knee.
But didn't a military guy told him that the way to honor is to take a knee?
I don't care what that military guy said. Kaepernick took a knee because he was against law enforcement. He was against cops beating the shit out of people and doing all. And so am I. There's nothing that gives cops a dirtier name than cops that go rogue and do shit to bring.
What about cops that pull chicks over that are good looking and then never leave them alone until they agree to go out with them? No, I'm just kidding.
That's also bad, I think.
So? You make it sound like it's a bad
I had
thing.
a girl that I was dating,
I'm
and
just
a
kidding.
cop pulled her over.
Really?
Maybe she was attractive, and then she's like, "This guy won't leave me alone."
Yeah.
I mean,
Anytime cops do anything
Right.
that are bad, and we need an internal affairs, we need criminal internal affairs, because not all cops, just like anybody else, are good. And anytime anybody goes bad like that, it makes all of us look bad. So he was protesting law enforcement when he did it, and he has a right to do whatever he wants to do. But as a tax-paying ticket
but not
buying,
under the uniform as a football.
Exactly. He did it. So, okay, my personal protest, you want to do that against cops and against the United States of America, the flag, whatever you were doing it for, my protest is you won't get a nickel of my money anymore. I didn't go out and wave a flag. I didn't go to anything else. I just stopped paying money. So I cut my NFL Sunday ticket. I stopped supporting all teams. When everybody started taking a knee.
That's a big deal, though, because you
Yes.
love football. And
I did. I love football.
Football's the fucking best.
But I also served in Vietnam, and I was also a cop for 38 years. So you do what you got to do, partner. I do what I got to do. And it's the first time. Yesterday's game, my son, my wife, and myself, we sat there, and we watched the game from beginning to end. It was a great game.
Great game.
Glad to have you back.
So would you go to the Super Bowl if you had a ticket?
Yeah.
Guys, would you guys go?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
Oh, to the Super Bowl? Would I go?
Right?
Oh my God, yeah, without question. Yeah. I liked Kaepernick's protest.
Only because it's the Super Bowl and because it's, it's just like what I've said about Paul. I don't care who the president is. I'd be proud to meet the president, whether I believe in his political views or not. Whoever is the leader, I'm happy to meet anybody. To have the ability to say, I was at the Super Bowl and I love football.
Okay, how about this? How about the Pro Bowl is Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
How about we all go to the Pro Bowl in Las Vegas?
Vegas is my favorite city in America. Right
I
next to
can
Miami.
get us tickets to the Pro Bowl.
For real?
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
because
super down.
I'm Mr. Raider.
Oh yeah.
You're a Raiders fan?
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Nice.
You know why I'm a Raiders fan? So
I have my shit turned off. I don't know.
when you watch the Super Bowl, there's in Atlanta they did the thing about everybody that is about Atlanta, Big Boy and Little John, everybody from Atlanta, they do a thing about Atlanta. So in LA, they asked me to do a thing with all the people that are known for being in Los Angeles, and it'll play in the opening of the Super Bowl. And then they said, you want to like ad-lib one? And I said, how about a team that you grow up watching in Los Angeles and then they leave for 25 years and fucking come back, and it's like they have hey, I'm home, and you're like, fuck you, motherfucker, like your dad left and comes back 25 years later. Is your mom home? Hey, get the fuck out of here, man. When she got remarried. So when the Rams left, I became, and the Raiders came out here, I became a Raiders dude, because wherever you went to go get gas, wherever you went to go get beer, wherever you went to go get a half pint of Seagram's, you could find a Raider T-shirt, a Raider towel, a Raider hat, and that's
the gas
NWA, a gas station, and it just that's what made those dudes like that whole Ice Cube 30 for 30 with NWA and the Raiders and all that stuff is like so.
By moving to Vegas, it's made them less violent. The crowd. Over here, I mean, everyone's getting ripped off. Everybody's getting in chingazo. There are fights. Doesn't seem like they're having that problem over
Let me tell you
Vegas.
something. I was at the Coliseum on a Monday night. The Raiders always play the Chargers on Monday night. And there's a guy that's walking up with a Charger hat, like just a regular, gold and the thing. And he comes back down with a hat with 2 lightning bolts on the side, like Adventures in Babysitting, like that little girl had the had the hat with the fucking thing. And he had a foam #1 finger with the Chargers. So he gets up at the top of the thing and he comes down. Now he's got the hat with the bulb and he's got the #1. He's going like this. And as soon as he passes these cholo dudes all in black and the Raiders, one dude gets up and pushes him from behind, like with both hands from behind. And that dude goes flying. The Coliseum's all fucking cement.
It's all the way down.
Goes down there, the guy bounces up like that, and everybody stands up and they're like, Raiders! So they bring the paramedics come down with the gurney, like the one where they strap you. It's not, they don't have wheels, but they like 6 guys carry you. And they put him in there, they strap his head, he's got the strap there. He's got the #1, it's like, it's wrapped around him, so it's like this, but he still has the hat. And now they're carrying him back up where he came.
They stopped serving beer after halftime at those games.
Oh my God! They stopped serving beer at kickoff. All right. That shit was so. And then there were these guys behind us that were going Raiders, and they're just like fucking. Well, these guys fucking shut the fuck up. Same game. And we look back, and they're holding a sheet, and they're on TV. Holding a sheet and it says like Raiders something, and when you look at the sheet it says property of the LA County Jail. They stole a fucking sheet from the county jail and fucking spray paint black and silver Raiders on Monday Night Football. You can't see it, and you can see it in the game, and then you see it, and then the little stencil. Yeah,
that's incredible.
Let's go to the Pro Bowl,
dude. Down.
All right, good.
Love that.
Jet Sweet X.
The girl I started dating is a Raiders fan.
Oh yeah.
Her family has season tickets. Yeah.
She's
from Reno.
Who's that? Tell us about her.
No, it's like not bad.
How did you meet her? She wasn't walking across the street.
I
with her
met her
mom.
at a DJ show. Yeah.
There's a lot of hot chicks over there. Huh?
There is. Yeah.
If we went, what would it be like? The fucking maintenance crew? Like,
that's it.
Somebody must have spilled a drink. What's the oldest dude in one of those shows? 30?
Probably us. I don't know.
Yeah, probably me. Yeah, I'm 34. I'm probably the oldest one there.
Yeah. Shit. We
probably us.
Yeah.
We went to Dodger game. We stood at the Hard Rock. Is it the Hard Rock Hotel? It's a hotel right across the street from San Diego Stadium and right.
In San Diego?
Yeah.
That's Hard Rock.
Hard Rock, and my wife and I stood there a couple of years ago. And we looked like the senior grandparents in that place.
Oh.
In the whole hotel, everybody's young. Nobody looked like they were over 30 years old.
But there's some cities where it's like, there's no age range. Like if you go to that's what I like about Vegas and Miami is I think you can be any age and be in like the nightclub and it's actually kind of
I'm gonna say
understood and chill. No?
I'm gonna say no. I think when you're, if you're older than 50, there's some shit you can hide with clothes.
Right, accessories.
The accessories. But when you get to be, look at us. Motherfuckers like we're in the Muppets in the fucking balcony.
This is it. What do I do? What do I do with my walking stick? Shove it up my ass?
Yeah. Well, hey, and it's not like you say, hey, Gil, these fucking chicks are looking at us. Say, put your fucking cane away. This motherfucker be walk. Okay, hang on, George. I'm on you. What the fuck is wrong with your leg? It's fucking, I told you that. It doesn't work.
I think when we go to Vegas after the Pro Bowl, we should go to Zook for a DJ show, and I think you two should come with us. And we can roll up on the dance floor. Do you like to dance?
Who doesn't like to dance?
Aaron, you like to dance?
No.
Okay, here's my dude right here. So that's the guy that Gruden offended. Right? Remember?
Oh, in the emails?
Yeah.
That's Denora Smith. Is that his name? The head of the players union.
Yeah,
he's like the lawyer for them.
So this was us at the opening day of of Raider football right there.
Whoa.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this guy, I'm going to text him right now. I'm going to say, we need some tickets to the Pro Bowl on Sunday. And he's going to be like, how many do you need?
He's been doing that job for a while, right?
So allegedly he told me that, the stadium in L.A., I mean, they went over budget like.
Yeah, they did.
By how many? Like fucking $3 billion?
Yeah, it was they don't think they'll ever recoup their money.
So they put $2 billion in the ground because it's built on a earthquake fault. So when they get down in there, the surveyors, they're like, it's on a fucking fault. So they put the stadium on like rollers. Yeah. So if there was an earthquake and this was a stadium, it would move around. It's not stationary. So it's in there like on springs. Mm-hmm. So if the big earthquake came, it wouldn't snap or anything like downtown. The things fall apart. It would just kind of move amongst in the straps of it. So they go, there's $2 billion that people won't see. We went over there when they were building it. I mean, it's hard to believe that when you see it like from yesterday and you see everything there, all the people that I was there when it was just dirt and they had the columns in the ground, like on straps. But they would have to win this Super Bowl and maybe 2 or 3 others within the next 5 years to even get close to recouping that money, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like a fucking lot of money.
I was looking it up. So $2.5 billion over budget with some reports.
And you know what? That's the 2.5 they put in the ground for the thing. Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going.
I'm like super down.
It's about to happen.
Yeah. Are you guys bringing plus ones?
We can bring plus ones.
I'm supposed to see my dad this weekend.
Oh, you can't go?
I'm supposed to go to Idaho.
Just say you're going. We'll cut it out.
Yeah. I think your dad can be plus
Dude,
one.
I mean, on
Right,
Sunday?
should I just invite my dad?
Have you and your dad,
Why's your
raged,
dad?
Have you and your dad raged in Vegas yet?
No.
I think that's a pretty pivotal thing for every
I'd like to see your dad on the dance floor.
What's the difference between like a rage? Like you say, hey, have your dad raged in Vegas? Like, how do I know if we're raging?
Right.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if it's like a specific activity. I think it's more of a mindset. Like, if you let go completely of all of your typical responsibilities and how you feel like you need to present yourself in those responsibilities, and have you let yourself be like your pure id
That's a great
and just
answer,
a
man.
person like chasing excitement and fun, that's how you know if you've switched into raging. It's your mindset.
See, I haven't heard
That's a
this.
fucking great
I
answer.
haven't heard this shit. If you've let
Isn't it a
your
great
id,
answer?
I mean, I remember the id and the super id. I mean, that was years
the
ago. That's a mind. It's up here.
Yeah, I think that it is like your raw self that is just looking for excitement and pleasure and like more raw kind of experiences.
Yeah,
And
and
then
your
you got-
appetites and your emotions and stuff like that.
And then you got like your super ego that's keeping all that in check. That's telling you, hey, no, you got responsibilities, you got things you got to take care of, and you can't just let yourself be, totally beholden to those desires. But when you're in Vegas and you're raging, those desires are front and center. But ethically, of course.
Remember let's see an example. So I think the Patriots won a Super Bowl that they looked like they were going to lose. Is that the one against Seattle where
Atlanta was the 28-3.
Atlanta and Seattle, yeah.
So Tom Brady was like, there was maybe like a minute and a half left or couple minutes left, and he's sitting on the sideline and like a quarter, they show the quarterback just sitting there and he's looking up, and they look like they're going to lose. And then they intercept the pass or they stop the guy and they show him, and he's jumping up and down. And this is a dude that's got more money. He's got fucking Super Bowl championships. And I think that's what it is. Where he's like a kid, man. He's just jumping up and down by himself. He can't believe it. Like, it's just changed so much within a span of 5 minutes. We're sitting there like, fuck, we lost. And that shit, and when you see that in a guy, I think that's what it is, right? The id, you're just out of your fucking mind. Like, you don't care who's watching.
Yeah.
The shit when you're away. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Doesn't matter who you are. You play football as a kid, and you play with the teammates. You've had hundreds of teammates, and in that moment that you thought the whole world is watching me lose, fucking 2 minutes later you win.
It's game time. He's a pro. It's game time.
The guy that if the guy catches that ball, the 49er catches that ball The interception?
Yeah, number 3. Yeah, he just dropped that. It was like a basket catch.
Oh.
What if?
Yeah.
He's not sleeping.
Oh, my God.
No, he stood a long time down the ground crying, too.
Really?
Fucking
Yeah,
catches it, man.
I would be.
It's over. It's the other way.
Yeah.
Did you play sports?
I played baseball in high school.
Nice.
I loved it. I love baseball.
I wish I quit. I broke my wrist and I stopped playing in like 5th grade. But that was the one sport where I was like, I should have stuck
You
with
like
it.
playing baseball?
Did
you break
I was good.
Which one? The one you threw with?
Right
or?
arm, yeah. And I didn't know it was broken for like a week. And I was in the game. I was in the All-Star game, 5th grade, and I was trying to throw, and I would, forward like that, and the ball would just go to the right.
Shit.
I was like, I think my wrist is fucked up. That's exactly what I said to my dad. I'm like, yeah, this is fucked up, Dad. Yeah.
You know what? Hey, now a kid falls. You take that motherfucker to urgent care. They're like, he's fine.
Yeah.
He fell off the couch. I have a little scar right there. I was working on my bike. I cut myself. This whole thing had gangrene in it, and it was here. I went to the doctor. He cut it, and they was pushing shit out. I looked at it, and the doctor said, 3 days later, you lose that finger. I can't remember. And I was fucking walking around with this fucking black finger. With gangrene, and I finally couldn't take it anymore. I told my grandma, "Look at this." She's like, "What the fuck?" I remember the dude just squeezing that shit out of there, just like, you didn't think about. The doctor's like, you didn't fucking think about telling anybody. So I didn't think it was a fucking big deal. Like, and now kids, it's everything. They fall and
straight to.
But back then it was.
Yeah,
I got
days.
5 days.
Yeah.
When I went to high school, I loved baseball, and I was a catcher. And trying out for the team and everything's going good. Come the final cut day, he says, Gil, sorry. He says, hey, you're great behind the plate and you got a stick, but we're building our team on speed. And you ain't got speed, brother. He says, I'd like to hang around with the team, but we're going to have to cut the team. And I said, no, thank you very much. And I just never was fast enough. I was too slow.
I don't
want to cry now. Son of a bitch.
Can you look up my first pitch in Chicago that I threw at Wrigley Field?
Yeah.
How nervous were you for that?
I was warming up across the street from the Four Seasons in a park where we could have been either killed or bought not pink cocaine, but
Shit.
I warmed up for 2 hours.
Traditional one.
Yeah.
Fucking 2.
This one?
Oh, that's an alley. That's a good one too. No,
Yeah.
let's see that one.
Here, I'll just want to make it bigger.
Check this out.
Go. If you're listening at home,
Adrian Gonzalez caught it. I remember I used to pitch. I pitched in high school, pitched in Little League. And I warmed up. I was warming up. Here we go. I'm nervous.
Look at
I look like I'm not.
I'm bad. Look at that head bob. I'm bad.
And this is 2013? Is that? I think that's
This is 2013.
Yeah, tú sabes. I'm
Watch
bad.
this. And I get to it. I get it to that mound. Here we go. Watch this.
Last thing
Man,
you said
can you
is
imagine me, man? I
As
used to
you're
go
running
with my
out the mound,
grandparents.
last thing you said was,
I used to
out.
go with my grandparents to these. I used to sit right there in the. Check this out. Boom!
Dude, that's a good pitch. That was a
nice.
strike.
Cash money.
What were you more nervous for, that or the Emmys?
I think I might have been more nervous for that.
Yeah.
But Robin Williams, but that one, if you bounce it or you don't reach it,
Yeah.
I mean that's kind of like
It's forever.
you're in your church, your cathedral of going to the left field pavilion with my grandparents in the 60s and 70s, and then going back and doing that. It's pretty big now.
Yeah. That's
circle.
cool.
But it ain't gonna be like this weekend. That stadium in Las Vegas, great stadium, will probably be in the MGM owner's suite. It's not a suite; it's more like a villa. Probably got 100. He came over to me and he goes, this is called a suite, but it's 120 seats in here. It's more like an auditorium, but
Yeah.
they make it a suite. I mean,
Yeah.
the craziest shit you've ever seen, dude. And there we are. Might be even better than the Super Bowl. All your favorite players
Yeah.
playing against each other in one game in Vegas.
That's awesome.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're going.
I gotta talk to my dad.
Well,
Are we really going?
let us
Are we
know.
really going?
Yeah, we're going.
Okay, cool. I'm
Yeah,
pumped.
we're going.
Fuck yeah.
Gil,
Yes, I already said yes.
I'm.
I didn't even look at the calendar. I
I have a
turned
show
everything
Friday.
off.
I'm going to fly into Vegas on Saturday, and then we'll
Where's your show Friday?
in Corpus Christi. But I think
Oh,
we'll
nice,
stay,
where
we'll
Selena
stay
was.
either at the Four Seasons or the M is the official Raider hotel. But as soon as we're out of here, we're making the proper arrangements.
Corpus Christi, cool town on the water.
It's cool, man. Yeah.
And they got this Selena memorial there.
Yeah. You been there?
Once, yeah. Cut my hand open.
Over there?
Yeah, dancing on a rock. I slipped and cut it on coral reef. Had to take a Vespa to the
Really
ER.
dancing on a rock.
I was dancing to the Bee Gees on a rock, trying to show off for some people, and I slipped and cut my hand on some coral reef there.
You showed that.
Or like an oyster shell.
But wait a
or something
minute.
like that.
But what were you doing over there?
What was I doing in Corpus Christi?
Yeah. I don't know. My daughter wants to go because she wants to go to like to the museum.
Right.
And there's a statue right there on the water.
Yeah, of Selena. Yeah.
Yeah.
My family went to visit the Selena memorial. My mom's a huge fan.
Yeah. Did she go to the Days Inn, where the accident happened?
I don't remember doing that. No, I just remember the memorial.
So that whole day, like that whole thing happened where she got shot and she went into the Days Inn and collapsed right there. And I went over there. I was working in Corpus Christi, and I said, "Hey man, we got to go to like the Days Inn." And I said, "Excuse me," and the guy goes, "Yeah, right here." Like it's just like fucking 1,000 times a day. Yeah, right here. And he turns around and goes, "Oh, hey, what's up?" I said, "Hey, man." He goes, "Oh, fuck, you won't believe it. A fucking 1,000 times a day. Nobody wants a room. They just fucking want to see where she fell." And it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
That's
Makes sense.
I mean, but then I think they have the museum now, right? They didn't have a museum.
Maybe this was
before.
decades ago when I went, but
also, almost like you, like I think the beliefs in the religion did not allow for like blood transfusions.
oh, so she could have been saved.
I'm not gonna say alleged,
Right,
but
we're just speculating.
what her family believed was that they're not into blood transfusions.
Interesting.
Jehovah?
You believe it? Maybe. You go to their gravesite, it has like the mask of it, there's a mask of her on her headstone.
Oh, interesting.
Chicanos, man, we love that shit, man. Chicanos, we're more attracted to the dead than to the living. The fucking Llorona.
Not me.
I mean, I am.
That's
I
interesting.
could care less. We went to on vacation. We were in France, and
We go see Jim Morrison's grave.
some of the people wanted to go to the Louvre to go see the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, I saw the
museum.
Mona. Yeah. Have you guys been?
Yes.
Oh.
And my wife said, "Well, I want to go." There was like 5 couples, and 4 of the couples were going, or 3 of the couples were going. And I said, I really don't feel like going to the museum. She said, "Well, I feel like." I said, "Okay, if you want to go." I said, "But God damn it, we grew up in L.A. You've never asked me once to take me to the museum in L.A. You've never asked me to take you anything to go see anything like that." Now, because
Well, it's a
we're in
little bit
France,
different than the Louvre.
and so they went to the Louvre. I didn't go, and nor did she. She finally changed her mind. She didn't go to the Louvre. The other couples did. Out of the 3 couples that went, one of the ladies, because she's a tough little broad, she fought her way up there because it was so packed. It was asshole to elbow. She got her way up, and she actually got to see it. She says, the damn thing's only about this big, it's small. It's not a great big painting, and so I'm not one bit sorry I missed it.
Seriously?
Seriously.
What's in the Louvre? The Winged Victory?
Yeah, I was going to say that's the other big ticket one that I know of is Winged Victory.
Which one's Winged Victory?
So
The dome head and
I'm with you. I think the Mona Lisa is overrated.
Where?
Yeah, I think the Mona Lisa is overrated.
and it is surprisingly small.
I mean, like when I looked at it, I was like, I don't know why this is the
How did it gain?
biggest
How did it
painting.
gain its?
Right. It seems kind of arbitrary. I'm like, why this?
She's probably
I've been to Spain. That's it though.
Venus de Milo also in the Louvre.
Yeah. Yeah.
she's probably a Susia. That's why she had a name back in the day. She was.
Have you seen that document, The Lost Leonardo?
No.
So the document, The Lost Leonardo, is another Leonardo da Vinci portrait that looks like a male Mona Lisa. So everybody's like, is that a real Leonardo da Vinci? Because it looks like he just said, fuck, I'll just paint the Mona Lisa as a dude. And they're so similar that they found it, like they would be like, why would he paint one like that? But remember, like when they did, I mean, when he's doing the fucking sculptures, that it took forever. Like they didn't live forever. They fucking took like 35 years to to do one of those sculptures. And when you go to Rome, there's one that he didn't finish, Leonardo da Vinci, and the knee. If you look at the knee, like the other knee is like a perfect knee, and the other knee has like a chip in it. And they said that after working on it for so long, because I think those guys were drugging, he was drugging, that he felt that the statue was talking to him because he was on drugs, and he threw a hammer at it and hit the knee and chipped it. So that's the big thing to go see that statue, is that you're standing in front of it, and they said, oh, the knee is, like kind of cracked, because after so many years of working on it alone, the motherfucking statue started talking. Hurry up, motherfucker. Or the Sistine Chapel, where before you could just go in there and stand there and look up, because it's on the ceiling. Yeah. And then they put a fucking conveyor belt in there so you couldn't fuck around and stand there. You stand on the belt, you go like this, you're fucking moving, you're out. They put a fucking conveyor belt in there so that you can't stand there for hours and look at it.
I don't remember. I remember going to the Sistine Chapel. I don't remember the conveyor belt. That was about 5 years ago. I think 5, 6 years ago. I was there.
I guess now they got a moving walkway. That's
moving walkway. Yeah.
I wanted to. You were talking about how people. You were saying. Were you saying like Mexican people like love death more than like living? Yeah, my mom's Colombian. I'm Colombian. Yeah. My mom's like the most amazing person I've ever met with death. Like if we go to a funeral and it's like open casket, she'll hug the body. And I'm sure it's very distinct cultures. But my mom has like this incredible comfort and almost like comes alive more when she's surrounded by death. And I've always been very impressed by that.
What did she say about that?
I don't know. I've talked to her about it, but she like loves celebrating death. Like if it's like the day that someone died, my mom will always light candles. She'll always talk about them. She'll always like bring out pictures of them. She makes like a big moment out of death, and she's sad, but she also seems almost happy and alive when she's dealing with it.
That's an interesting thing. So the Day of the Dead, the whole thing about an altar for somebody who is no longer around. And Coco, like the movie Coco,
is about death.
It's about death. And when the woman who played my mom on my TV show had a party for the Day of the Dead, and then she's like, bring pictures of people, and they put it in an altar. So I don't have the picture, but so it was she had these Mylar skull balloons, Day of the Dead balloons. And the Mylar, it's on a string, so it's kind of turning, it's kind of turning. So we all took a picture of all of us together, and the balloon, when we took the picture, the fucking between our shoulders, like right here, the person looked at the picture and goes, "You have to check this out." The fucking balloon was facing the camera, where before it wasn't.
Right.
So when we all got together, it was like this, and then when we took the picture, it was in between our shoulders, like looking at the camera, and it freaked everybody out that it could have been somebody.
Photobombed your picture.
I photobombed the picture, man. But because they feel it and they sense it. Like in the house that I live in Los Feliz, we talked about it, that it was haunted. I mean, it's not as much anymore, but fucking full on haunted, man, haunted.
Do you sage it?
We had a lady come in.
Yeah.
And people would come in. We did a DoorDash, PSA. The girl's in there with the, she's got the camera there, and she tells Momo, she goes, "Hey, can you tell the woman in the other room to stop talking? I can hear her talking." And they're like, "There's nobody in the other room."
You got your place saged, right? You're worried about a ghost?
Well, so I moved into a place across there. I was looking at two places, both for rent. One was $1,000 cheaper, and they're about the same place. And so then I learned that someone died, a few months earlier. So
do they have to tell you?
I think they have to tell you if it was the most recent.
Listen, man, I don't think they tell you anymore. I think
if they died and now they're selling the house, then they got to tell you. But if they died and somebody else bought the house, now this person sold, they don't have to go back and say, "Hey,
right.
The last owner."
Did you know or did you not know?
So I was looking in November. The person died in September, so they told me. Oh. So I didn't even look inside. But now I live across the street from it, so I still saged So I don't know if ghosts can cross the street, you know.
They have to look both ways.
Yeah.
They have to look both ways before they do.
Right, yeah. Well, you have Sage. I mean, they're looking up for... I was terrified my first night. I saged it up, and I was in bed. Because I live alone, I was just in covers. And...
Do you hear shit? I heard stuff. I can show you. I heard stuff in my...
No, my place is fine, but
Let me see if I can find this picture.
I've always been intrigued by that stuff, but I've never... I feel like if you open yourself up to it, then you're more likely to...
But also they say if you do not call... They say don't call anybody to you.
Right, yeah.
You know, if you... Like I was calling people. And
I don't even answer phone calls from George.
I would say, hey,
Mr.
man,
Lopez.
Mr. Lopez, excuse me.
I would say, hey, if you're out there, you know, let me know you're all right. That kind of shit. They say don't do that.
Oh,
Really?
yeah. I did a really good horror movie that came out during the pandemic. I think it's called The Host.
Yeah.
And it's like all over Zoom, and that's like the premise is that they're doing a seance, and they like one of the gals ends up fucking around and like invites someone in, and that's like the ghost who ends up coming in.
Right.
I didn't do it any justice there, but it's right along those lines.
Yeah.
You know what, man? They say don't.
There's some
Don't encourage
scary movie out there, and I watched it, and it was like a scary comedy, but it was with Mexicans in it, and the hoods, you know, the gangsters were in it, and they were talking street talk, and something comes up and scares them. Oh, get the fuck out of here, Holmes, you know. And it was like gangster, but it was scary.
Any idea what it was called, or anyone who's in it, or anything like that?
It's called "Let's Get Out the Fuck Out of Here, Holmes."
Yeah.
I love the name of your podcast, by the way.
Oh my God, hi.
Yeah.
I would walk on stage, and you know there were all these Latinos out there, and I would say "Que chingados cabrones," and they would go "Orale," and then I would go "Oh my God, hi." And then we started doing "Oh my God, hi."
And that's is
even
that your
Arsenio
tour
said.
right now?
Arsenio said, "Man, you got the fucking best name for a podcast. Like, who else is gonna top Oh My God, hi?"
Yeah.
I was at Momo's show Thursday night, and I stood back in the green room until Momo went out, and then I went out in the audience, and I wanted to watch his set. And as soon as I walked out there, somebody said, "Hey, look, there's the beef squasher."
There you go.
That's the name that
Gil's got his own.
he gave me here on the show, and they're obviously were the show.
Yeah.
By the way, on the Selena front, I was looking up the blood transfusion thing. So she was a Jehovah's Witness, and so her religion said she couldn't get blood transfusions, but because she was unconscious, doctors didn't know that, she still got the blood transfusion.
Okay, so you know Eddie Van Halen and I were friends, and
Sorry.
the night that he passed, I said, "Hey Ed, let me know you're all right. You know, check this out." Say something. Where's this thing? Hang on. I showed you guys that thing, huh?
That's why I distance myself from this thing right now.
There's some wild shit going on in my house. This was all.
Yeah, for real. The one with the woman in the next room that the sound lady was picking up, that's Oogie.
Yeah.
Are ghosts, for the most part, chill, or are they looking to cause trouble?
It depends. Is that it? I can't tell if
I can hear some kind of high-pitched noise right now.
Oh, you can?
I can, yeah. I don't know if it might be just my young ears, but...
Ghosts are in that dog whistle register.
No, I had a dog whistle going, but
yeah,
I think they might be. You hear that shit? So I live alone. Is that knocking?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah.
it sounded like drums almost. It sounded like the opening stanza.
I was laughing because you got this shit played right here, and Chad right here.
I'm scared, dude. I'll fuck around with that.
Fucking orbs and there's orbs and shit flying. Oh man, dude, there's orbs and. Oh yeah.
I love all that stuff. I got my aura ready.
So, yeah, you still hear them or not?
What's up?
You still hear that shit? Those sounds?
Well,
You didn't hear any sounds.
He
there.
found out his ghost was hot, and then he was trying to throw a rhythm and stuff like that.
Oh, take down the sage, then, brother.
You know what a goat-
that's exactly what
you know what a
start
ghost will
showering
fuck you
more.
while you're sleeping?
Really?
A dolphin too. We're in the ocean.
For real?
There's dolphins that be banging chicks. You ever saw that thing? Fucking dolphins banging chicks.
There's a YouTube
Yeah,
video about
dolphins will like rape people.
You see that with a girl?
I've seen like when you go to SeaWorld and you find out about
Yeah,
like, the
you
culture
see-
of
I've seen-
dolphins, you're like, this is pretty savage, and they have like scars on their bottlenoses from all the interactions.
All the fucking
Mm.
raging.
All the raging.
I see dolphins a lot.
There's a YouTube video of a dude talking about, he's a really weird guy, not the kind of guy you'd want to like come over or play golf with. And he talks about his relationship with the dolphin, and he had like a sexual relationship with the dolphin for several years. And he talks about it like it was like mutually pleasurable. But I'm like, how can you speak on behalf of the dolphin, dog?
Are you talking about the guy who's on Howard Stern?
That's
Maybe. I
who
watched
is that?
him.
Yeah.
He sounded like he was like a jazz player. He's like, it's just real cool, brother. Do you remember that? He's like, it's real cool, brother. Just me and the dolphin.
A jazz player and a dolphin. That seems like
Dude, I mean, that's, yeah.
So does your mom put altars out for people that she's lost or
Yeah, they're not out all the time, but yeah, like when it comes to those dates where they died, my mom's like very keenly aware of it, and she will do a little ceremony and stuff like that. It's pretty beautiful.
We put one out at our house. I forget what they call it though. It's for Dia de los Muertos, and it's everybody, all our friends and family, anybody that's died. They put the candles out there. It's ofrenda.
Some people think in our culture we keep death too separate from our experiences, and that we're not in touch with it enough. There was like a novelist, Carl von Nosgard, and he said like we should leave dead bodies out on the street and not cover them, so people are more aware of that this is part of the process and kind of the most common experience we'll all share.
Well, they smell though. But
a strong
they do,
pitch.
yeah.
I like
It
the
is a strong
concept.
pitch. I don't know, like if I'm raging in Vegas, I don't know if I want to see a dead bee there.
But also, I think that people, like you're talking about raging in Vegas, I do think people wait till something's wrong with them before they decide they want to live.
Right.
Totally.
You know, like if you get a diagnosis of like, oh, I have this, and you're like, you always wanted to go to Spain, or you always wanted to travel to Europe, and then you decide then. But we should be doing that shit every day because you don't know.
You don't know.
That's what they, like yogis say. You have to live as if a katana is hanging above your head at all times.
No question, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Buddhists,
As if what's hanging above your head?
Like samurai sword by a string, so it could just,
Yeah. Live every day like it's the Pro Bowl.
Right.
live every day like it's, when you get that motherfucking interception thrown at you, catch it.
Catch the motherfucker.
And 49 other guys celebrate. You drop it, and I mean that's a big deal.
Huge.
I'm talking about-
He'll live with that for the rest of his
And
life.
if you remember, there was another guy, Williams, who his son, Kenny Williams, I think he's the general manager of the White Sox. His son played for the Niners, and he fumbled the punt a few years ago. They would have gone to the Super Bowl then.
the Dodger first baseman that had the ball go through his leg.
Bill Buckner.
That
And
lost
that
the
one,
game.
that one, yes. I mean, for the Rams, it's kind of the best situation for them. But for the 49ers to come to L.A., beat the Rams, they would have stayed in town and stayed for 2 weeks.
They'd been living life. That's supposed to be the craziest party in the world, is that week ramp up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's like when Michael Irvin would just go nuts and just be
those dudes.
doing blowski and
Those dudes are in a cat suit, like a fucking purple fucking onesie.
just.
Those dudes had the White House in Dallas.
Dude, I just read that book about that. It's pretty hilarious.
Was it Boys Will Be Boys?
Boys Will Be Boys by Jeff Pearlman. And there's a quote by Nate Newton at the top of the chapter where he's talking to the press, and he's like, we're just trying to be considerate, and we got a house we're running whores in and out of, and people want to get mad at us for that. He says it like he wants credit that they have this house where they do all their deeds.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we're being responsible. Why are people getting mad at us for this? Like, we're actually being very organized
Didn't they have the
about
Cowboy
it.
Cafe? I went to the Cowboy Cafe.
And I guess that got too much
crazy.
press, too much coverage, and then so they just got a house on a suburb street.
So that Latino guy, Anthony Montoya, that guy Paco, that's in the book. I knew that guy.
Oh, really?
His family had a Rosita's restaurant on Harry Hines, he was kind of like the gopher for Michael Irvin. I was hanging out with those guys at that time. I went to the Cowboy Cafe one night. All those guys were Nate Newton and.
Was it crazy?
Fucking crazy, man.
Reading about Michael Irvin, I'm like inspired by him though. I know he gets into a lot of trouble and he does a lot of things wrong, but he's so committed to the team and he's such a hard worker. And it seems like he was like a real leader despite all those other things.
Despite all that other shit, they used to go and play like, that's where the guys would really kind of like accelerate their behavior, where they would go from town to town and the Cowboys would play whoever the local news celebrities in town. And
in basketball,
always
right?
a big deal in basketball.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
So up in Sacramento, alleged that Michael Irvin was on the bench and he had 2 chicks making out with each other while during the fucking game.
It says in the book that they would have orgies and that Michael Irvin was in charge of directing them.
Really?
And he'd be like, "Hey, you get behind her, and then you get in front." And like he had like a genuine gift for being able to orchestrate orgies.
And then you think a guy like that, if he got on TV, would not want to be noticed, you know, with my kind of mild-mannered clothes. Yeah, I think that.
Right, like hide a little
has
bit.
An opportunity. Fucking goes out there, Dad, we got to do this. You think he'd be like low-key, like just like, hey, you know, I'm trying not to draw attention to myself. But those guys were fucking rogue, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
They were rogue. And even if you see, like I went to the Super Bowl when Michael Jackson performed, when the Cowboys won the first Super Bowl at the Rose Bowl, '93. Michael Jackson performed, and that's when Leon Lett was running with the ball, and Don Beebe came up from behind, knocked him down. So Leon Lett picks up the fumble, and he's running like right in front of us, and you see he's got like a 20-yard head start, and he's running, and Don Beebe had that big ass Gazoo helmet. Remember the great Gazoo from the cartoons? Big ass helmet, and he's fucking running. You see the little dude fucking running, and Leon like fucking catches him, man, like in the 5-yard line, puts his hands out like that, fucking knocks the ball out of his hands. Like all happens in front of us.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that kind of defined him. It's like what we're talking about, you know, life-defining moment. You either define the moment or the moment defines you.
There you go.
Yeah.
All you had to do is hold the ball, cross the line, turn around. And he was just...
He let up.
He let up.
Well, I hate to be the time cop, gentlemen, but
all right, what are we doing?
Against it.
We're going to San Clemente. We're going to the Pro Bowl.
We got a nice
Most
weekend.
Most of us are going. Bring your dad.
I'll give him a call.
We'll get all the numbers together.
Yeah, we'll get everyone on a chain. We'll figure it out.
Cool.
Amazing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out, guys. Please plug the show, plug anything you guys are promoting right now.
We have a podcast, Going Deep with Chad and JT. It's on All Things Comedy as well.
When does this come out?
This will probably be, I think, 2 weeks from now. So mid-February.
We'll have a show at the Hollywood Improv on the 18th.
16th.
Nice. I'm on top of things.
You have a show a couple of days from now on the 2nd of
Brea
Improv.
Yeah.
Do you like that club? Do you do those clubs?
It's a different club than when I was
doing the clubs.
Yeah.
We just fixed this today actually. So at chadgoesdeep.com we have all our tour dates. So you can get all the links because we have some dates coming up.
Our first tour.
We're starting
First
to go
time.
I
out.
like that. Where are you guys going to go?
Texas, Arlington.
Where inside the Improvs?
We're going to.
We'll
I don't know the improvs.
We'll check out the dates and see theaters, some small theaters or venues.
Clubs.
Oh, yeah,
we're going
good.
to Grand Rapids, Michigan, Detroit, Arlington, Paso Robles. I think it's Paso Robles.
Nice.
Ugly ass snow and Mexican. A lot of good wine in Paso Robles.
Hey, so yeah, that's right. So you guys from the podcast, like, it's generated this thing, right, where you have all your fans, like they're everywhere, right?
It's kind of a combination of things. It's like the podcast and then like our videos and stuff like that. And then, but yeah, we're just doing straight stand-up at all the shows, though. It's not the pod.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys on TikTok and all that?
A little bit on TikTok.
Yeah. We like.
What do you think TikTok is? Is it for you guys? You have to kind of be more into. Like my daughter did one with Santana, like kind of dancing and like took the time to like produce it.
We're Instagram guys.
Yeah.
And then I just don't know if I have the bandwidth for a second app.
Yeah.
I've kind of just like.
We gave it a shot.
We did some videos on there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of us dancing shirtless, which was fun.
Yeah, because we felt like TikTok was kind of like you have to be horny to be on there.
It's all horny young
it's
people.
all fucking horny.
Yeah,
right, so we were trying to push the horniness front and center.
Yeah. Horny 30-year-olds.
Which was fun, because that is a big part of our souls, but
yeah,
hard to do that every
But
week.
you have a girlfriend or are you married? No.
I'm just
You're not married.
I'm just dating right now. I would like to settle down, though.
But is dating okay? So is dating? How do you know if it's going to be exclusive? Like, do you say in the beginning? I mean, has it changed since? I mean, I don't.
It's crazy.
I'm not paying attention.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I
wild
think
out there.
you have the conversation at a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are poly now. I'll have people throw that out there.
You know what poly is?
I see a lot of that on
Yes,
there.
I
I tried to pretend I knew what it was.
people from Utah, that's
Is poly like more than one person?
It's more than one person, but it's like
polygamy.
It sounds like a cool idea,
That's
but when
what
someone else pitches it to me, when they're like, "Hey, I want to be poly," I'm like,
Yeah.
I take it a little. It hurts me a little bit. I'm like, what? Yeah,
I think it would hurt a little bit.
yeah.
And
I'm
you're
not
talking
into
about just multiple partners.
I'd like to be the one who pitches the poly thing, not to get it pitched at me.
Would you move somebody in? This is what they told me, and this was we were young men. Some guy goes, move him in, move him out. That's all the dude had to say. We were in our 20s. He goes, hey, I'm living with my girlfriend. The guy goes, move him in, move him out. And he goes, what does that mean? He goes, unless you're fucking planning on getting married, don't move him in.
Yeah.
Move him in, move him out. I lived with this girl in the early mid-'80s, and it's like fucking left me. She moved out. What did I hear in my head? Move him in, move him out. Awesome. Unless you're going to make that step, don't move him in.
Right.
But you're single now?
Yeah, I'm divorced, but very happy. Me and my clubs are very happy. Me and all my guitars at my house.
Yeah.
Have you tried a dating app?
Yes.
Which one did you do?
I'm on Rayon.
Oh, nice.
But they go, are you on Rayon? I said, it's like fishing. When you can throw the hook in there and then you and your buddies are having beers and fucking around, they go, oh, I got something. You just leave it in.
Exactly. Awesome.
Nice.
Well, thanks for coming out, you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you so much
having
for
us.
I
having
matched
me.
with Tatum O'Neal, but I never took her out.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
Paper
nice.
Moon.
Yeah, Bad News Bears.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Ryan
Big
O'Neal's
wow.
daughter.
I was trying to get her to just say big wow to me.
She's a good actor.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah,
this
man,
is an
you're
honor.
awesome.
Yeah.
That was so
I feel like
fun.
you guys didn't talk. I talk most of the time. Fuck.
You're captivating.
Kind of what we wanted, yeah.
Oh, all right.